Yo, I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I want to welcome you back to Corsair's Cove. I be Josh the Pirate, your DM for this evening, and it brings me more satisfaction than Tatanka Yotanka on the 26th of June, 1876, to welcome me back for another season in my Humblewood world. For some more
I
of
legit
Elements
forgot
and
that
Evil.
you do those things. I got so jump scared. I'm like, why is you silent? What's happening? I forgot that you...
For a second, Josh forgot he does them too.
I was trying to find it in my notes. If you want Daria's future, forget her past. If you want to get with John, better make it fast. Now don't go wasting Karen's precious time. If you act like Brendan, we should be just fine. Oh, I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna talk about these lovely folks. So, who the absolute heck are all of you? Daria, who the heck are you?
Apparently, I'm an artist with checkered past that you have to forget.
Yeah,
I'll have
that
to
furry
figure
porn.
out later what it is. Yeah. Oh yeah, furry porn. Yeah, guys, I'm commissionable in
I
art.
didn't-
You can give me money if you want. I make emotes, I make portraits, I make all kinds of shit. And I'm very cool. That's it.
John, who the heck are you?
Hi, I'm John. I play Bron. I've been doing this for a little while now, which is lots of fun. Very much enjoying myself here. I don't know.
I think
Just
we
a regular
brought you
ginger.
on beginning of the last year. I think you've been streaming for over a year now. It's 30 episodes.
Jeez. Wow.
Also, you're ginger. I haven't had noticed. Interesting.
Really? Yeah, no, very red.
I said that
I
to
don't
like a
see
group of people the
colour,
other day,
you
and they
know?
were also
I don't see colour,
they said the same thing. They
Oh.
were like, "You're not ginger anymore." I don't know. Maybe I grew out of it. Maybe I grew a soul. Who knows?
It was just a phase.
Yeah.
While he was in uni.
I can see my reflection now in the mirror.
Oh, that'd be must
Yeah.
make it easier
Well,
to
no,
shave.
it was just the hair before. So it was.
Karen, who the heck are you, my love?
Hello, I am Karen, sometimes known as the Mother of Bunnies. I'm a performer, a writer, a dirty internet addict. I really need to join a group to deal with that, particularly. And I'm back to play Glitterweave. And I've totally forgotten what rank I'm up to now. Is it Colonel still?
No, yes,
no?
Colonel.
General. General.
No,
Colonel?
you're Colonel, still Colonel.
Commander of
thank you.
all of the
Yeah.
armies.
Leader of many armies. Baker of breads. In fiction only.
Yeah,
Bread's hard. Bread's difficult.
Bread's hard, yeah.
particularly when Kesh bakes it. Brandon, who the heck are you?
Is a loaf of bread an improvised weapon for Kesh?
Ooh. Only if it's a baguette.
I would also like to point out, Brendan, before you tell us who you are, this is, you ready for it, Ereq's 69th episode.
Ah!
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
As it should be. And
Yeah.
my final episode. Thank you very much, everybody. What a way to go. I'm Brendan.
Not live.
I mean, you only get known, right?
Not anymore.
Anyway, everyone's prepared, right?
Got my
Oh,
raincoat
we're
ready.
waiting. Time's ticking, dude.
Hello, I'm Brendan. I'm just a funny little guy.
Apparently.
Actor and director. I'm going to a LARP tomorrow.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I would say I'll meet you there, but tickets are no longer being sold. But it is a non-specific magical school LARP. So
Hell yeah.
that's cool. And I'm gonna be the camp counselor, and all of us are loving and acceptable of trans people and everyone else, except
Ah.
for
Are you-
racists and sexists.
Are
and-
you a non-trademark snake faction? Are you a non-trademark lion faction? What's your
we actually
vibe?
we don't we don't have houses, but we do
What?
have like schools of magic that we specialize in. So
Ah.
mine is meta magic. And there's physical magic and
All
mental.
about the Facebook's meta and nothing else. All about that
Yeah,
good
yeah.
old social media.
I'm a meta magic specialist.
Ooh.
Oh, that
Is
is
physical magic
John
just
has met
punching?
people like that.
Is physical magic just punching people?
Yeah.
can be now.
There's,
Right. Yeah.
there's one guy who is physical magic. Everyone has their own wand, and his wand is a cricket bat.
Nice.
Hell
Hey,
yeah.
Mitch. Good to see you, buddy. And thank you very much for that default bonus for Karen as well. Got to give it to the Filthy Ex Bandit. I was like, that is the most Nevermore way of doing that. Thank you.
Hey, you filthy peasant, take your D4 and be grateful.
We just heard that Nevermore has been doing some suspicious shenanigans, and I am excited to hear about it.
not as suspicious. He's just saved Barovia
You
from
definitely
the
said sus.
Scourge of Strahd.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know what you're
said
talking about.
sus.
I didn't say sus.
Yeah, it was very sus.
Nevermore has done
You didn't
not
say it on
one
stream.
single
but,
wrong
you know,
thing.
Offline, you said all kinds of heinous shit, and we will repeat it now.
Yeah, that's how that works. Alrighty, well, and I be Josh the Pirate. Welcome, thank you for joining me on my channel, Corsair's Cove, which I run with my lovely lady wife, Karen, the mother of bunnies, and all my splendid friends. But you know that you've been here, you've joined, you've come along, and you are very freaking welcome, everybody. I must also remind our group of rockin' scientists, Brad Pitt lookalikes, and car owners that comprise our regular audience to please like, follow, and subscribe to all the things, you bloody champions. We have all the exclamation mark socials. We have a YouTube where you can catch all 193 previous episodes of this world. It's a lot now. And we have a Discord if you want to come and hang out with us. It's this one. If you're curious about who Tatanka Yotunka was Chief Sitting Bull. That is the, and I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but I did look up a pronunciation. That's probably as close as I'm getting. Chief Sitting Bull, who was the leader of the tribes that came together for the Battle of Little Bighorn, in 1876, on the 26th of June, and they won very convincingly. They destroyed 5 of the 12 companies of the 7th Cavalry Regiment, led by the famous and some would say infamous Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer. Custer died in the battle along with 2 of his brothers, his nephew, and his brother-in-law. The men in that family did not do well out of this one.
Wow.
The
Annihilated that family tree.
However, his widow did not let that stop him stop her from trying to make him a national hero for like the rest of her life. She dined out on his legacy, and it was only about sort of 20 years after she died that someone had said, "I actually don't think this guy was a good guy. I actually think he was a bit of a bastard. Like he murdered a lot of Indians." My favorite factoid about the Battle of Little Bighorn, however, was that so there was obviously several officers on both sides, and one of the chiefs, the only chief of the there was Lakota, Dakota, Northern Cheyenne, and Arapaho Sioux. They're all kinds of Sioux Indians, but yeah, all different tribes. And the Arapaho, and the only chief to die, the only war chief, was called, and this you couldn't make it up, Lame White Man was his name.
That's very strong.
And you're like, that's amazing.
Did they name him posthumously?
And he actually was one. He was captured. He was actually an American. No. But I was just like, that's fantastic. I want to know why. Sitting Bull actually, Tatanka Yotunka translates actually as bull sitting down, but has less of a ring to it. So we have Sirenscape gracing your ears right now. The Ukraine war is still going on, though I saw a news report today that said Vladimir was interested in talking to Volodymyr. which, I mean, Volodymyr needs to be exceptionally careful in that meeting, but interesting that that is now on the table. But if you do have any spare pennies to chuck towards the refugees generated by the war, the link is up in chat. Yeah, consider dropping any spare charity dollars you have, you bloody champions. We are proudly supported by a couple of wonderful groups of beans. Troll Games, the wonderful folks there. Hey, Watchful Wizard, you made it for the start. Yeah, we've bumped it back an hour, so it makes it a little bit easier for everybody, and also me. And John just has to suck it up. Sorry, John. Well, you're not. You got a little time off.
Makes it easier for me as well to like get food and walk the dog. So.
Oh, okay. There we go. Great. Yeah. Well, we'll keep it there then. Yes, Troll Games, a fantastic group of people, very supportive of the online TTRPG space, and they have always got new and interesting groovy stuff coming out, for example, Castles and Crusades Reforged. They were also the last publishing house for the great Gary Gygax, our TTRPG Lord and Savior DM. So, check their stuff out at trolllord.com. And the other wonderful beans are Wootenforge Gaming Accessories. People who make things like this. I am currently doing my teaching prac, and my dice box came with me to school yesterday because the children have discovered my dice habit. Because my bag has a couple of sets of dice in, because I also use that bag for when I go and DM. And they were like, "What are these?" And I was like, "Oh, why? Who is going through my bag?" And yeah, they've discovered that I collect dice, and so they now want to see all the dice. So over the last few days, they have been treated to all the dice. Now they want some, and fortunately, my brother-in-law has started making them. So Mick is going to give me all of his seconds, and I'm going to give them as presents. I will make a new generation of dirty little dirty little dice goblins. They also admired the box, as would you if you purchased one from wootenforge.com/Corsairs Cove, you cheeky little bastards. What else do I need to say? I don't think I need to say anything else. We do need, first of all, to level up Ereq, because Eric's waking up, I promise. And he's a little bit behind. So Ereq, still mainlining Druid, one assumes.
You can assume that. Because it would be correct.
Okay. So we need a D8. We need a couple of D8s rolled in chat for Eric's hit points. With the inevitable 8 coming along. Yes, more dice goblins and RP gremlins. We haven't gotten them on the RP yet. I haven't had time. They're very flat out with their curriculum, but the dice goblins are beginning. Mitch. No, just an 8. No D. We don't need the D on this one. We don't like the D here, do we? There you go. A 5 from Big Viking Mitch. Not bad. Watchful Wizard. Will you do us the favor? Yep. It'll do. It'll do. Particularly with Eric's +2 Constitution, so that would make it a 7. He already has the most hit points of the entire group, I think. And Watchful Wizard rolled a 1, so yeah, that's a 5.
Not gonna take that one.
Alrighty, 7 more hit points for Ereq.
5 is fine.
Yep, 5 will bloody do. And yes, mainlining Druid means I think level 12 is that might be a stat increase. Yeah, interesting. Well, let me know what you choose for that, and we will crack on. Karen, can you please give us a little recap? What the absolute heck happened last season?
Oh, for this we must consult the Black and Grey Book of Knowledge. Well, our erstwhile heroes had travelled to a weird wreck made out of ships in Saltar's Point to find and confront the evil dragon, presumably evil, though when we eventually got to it and fought it, Kesh was about to shoot it with an arrow, and strike it down, but a strange internal force pulled her arrow aside at the last moment, not killing the dragon, and then the shadows fled, and the dragon was lucid again, was like, "Oh my goodness, you've freed me," and we're like, "Oh, cool." And she was like, "My friend that came with me, is he okay?" And we're like, "Oh, Julio kind of bad." And she's like, "No sweat, bro. If we hurry, I will bring him back." And we were like, "Okay, so you were kind of possessed by death? And she was like, yeah, kind of, sort of, maybe. And then we kind of had to cut short a conversation because then the shadows, it turns out, had taken over the shipwrecks, which came together to form an holy shipwreck golem. And I actually wrote dun 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 down because I know when a dramatic moment has occurred. And so then we had to fight it, which is a lot easier when you have a dragon to help you.
Even a really badly hurt one.
Yeah, even a really injured dragon was great. We had some good moments. Coral wanted to ride the dragon. Coral being the fighter that Brandon was playing while Ereq was unconscious. Sorry, brain is tad. Bron decided to wrestle the golem, even though he was comically tiny next to massive golem. But you know, it was a vibe. But Julio eventually killed it by running in a circle around it, slicing all the way.
Holding a rope, I think. It was like one of the ropes part of it. And
I think he was swinging on the rope and just slicing away. Like, you know...
That's some Attack on Titan shit.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
I don't watch anime.
Or like the worst sort of Christmas elf.
So we lie today, Brendan.
So, with the golem slain and the dragon freed, who's called Kikihai, she asked to be taken to her fallen comrade, and we got to fly on dragon back to the village where Julio is now being worshipped as the bestest boy ever. And as I put it in my notes, we caused something of a sensation as we appear in the village on Dragonback. Though, as Kikihai put it, it means us no harm unless she's given good fucking reason. I may be slightly paraphrasing her tone.
I think only fucking was the only word she didn't use.
Let's give it good reason. And Kikihai and Julio managed to resurrect the dragon buddy. Julio channeled the power of the older heart in to heal the dragon, and all greenery grew up around it, and then Kikihai breathed a soothing magical mist. And the dragon, called Kitimoa, is restored, though now slumbering peacefully on the grass. And the brave Coral Clearwater asked Kikihai to take her to where her comrades were fighting the final shadow monster, which is not a possessed dragon, and thus sadly cannot be saved.
I mean, you could try.
But yeah, so Kikihai is like, I got you, bro. And then asked Kesh, Bron, and Julio to stay and look after her nephew until she gets back. Which we were like, okay, I'm sure we can take care of a giant mythical dragon that's just appeared in a village that slayed it really recently. Everything will be fine. Ereq is still in a bed of slime, jelly, delicious jelly. He's in a delicious jelly bed back in the Older Heart, hopefully feeling a bit healthier than before. I believe Julio has a level of fatigue from like kind of 3 levels of fatigue.
Yeah, because it's a Revivify 3rd level spell, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I had to get 3.
Yeah, Julio has 3 levels of fatigue from kind of burning his soul to resurrect a dragon, which sounds kind of metal, but you know, hopefully we don't have to deal with anything too dangerous, because I think Kesh is pretty banged up as well.
Quick question.
Would I do that?
Are we using the 2014 rules for exhaustion or the new ones? Because I know
we are
they're
using
different.
my rules for the for exhaustion. My rules are at the beginning of every day you roll a d4. If you get a 4, you lose a level of exhaustion. You heal 1.
No, I mean, what are the effects that I'm under?
Oh, we're
for
using the
free
2014. So
okay.
yeah, I think the 2024 rules eat ass. As someone
that
who
would
I've
come
point
off
where
really
two of
wrong
the
if you
lead
love eating
designers-
ass.
Yeah. I mean, to
I'm
the
not
point
gonna
where
yuck
2 of the
anyone's
lead
yum.
designers have left the company, right?
Yeah. And they're just doubling down, and I'm like, you can double down all you like. I'm prepared to be one of those holdouts who's just like, nah, I refuse. I feel really bad because the game I run in the meat space for paying customers, they all went and bought the 2024 rulebook, insisted on playing with it for a whole like micro campaign, and at the end of it I said, I'm really sorry guys, I know you spent $70 on it and you're welcome to play with it with not me, but I am not running in this system anymore. It fucking sucks and I hate it. The just so many things about it that aren't any good, and the few bits that are good are not outweighed by the the things that aren't. And also just on a moral level, I think it shouldn't exist at all. It was there simply to make money. Fuck it.
And also, he didn't want to redo literally all his resources. So.
And because I'd have to buy it all again. You take that back, but really, even though they fixed a few things, they broke so many. Exactly, they broke druids, for example. They broke a whole fucking
I wouldn't
class.
play a druid under the new rules. Bullshit.
Wait, I didn't read. What did they do with the fucking druid?
You don't get the hit points of the thing you turn into. You just get temps, and not very many.
I mean, to be fair, I ran a campaign with like 16th level druid.
Sure.
Impossible to fucking challenge. Them bitches are unkillable. So I see why they would do this.
But that's not why they did it. They didn't do it because druids were OP. They did it because I don't think they are that bad. But it was to bring them. They've got this. There's a very much a new focus on temporary HP, and that you can only have it from one source. And so they're trying to bring everything into. It's just a temp. You have 2 health bars. You've got your temporary and you're not. And I'm just like, I see why you did that. It's still stupid. Like they also making Divine Smite is now a spell, so you can only do it once per turn. And I'm like, I don't hate that, but it does kind of. And you also have to have cast it before you do it, so you can't like, oh, I smoke, I crit, light. And I'm like, so they've nerfed paladins, which did need a little nerfing, I'll give you that. But like, there's so much about it, like some really cool subclasses, and I'm just like, this, all the good stuff could have been an expansion that you could have charged money for. You didn't need to break the other stuff.
They rushed it
anyway.
as well.
Yeah.
It felt
Anyway.
like they were in just such a hurry to get out.
I mean, but Wild Shape is like, they have let you talk in Wild Shape now. You can now talk in Wild Shape, but you can't cast spells, even if they're just vocal component spells. And I'm like, well, that's so. Yeah, I mean, I liked the not being able to talk because that was a fun challenge.
Just doing sign language as a bear.
I want to find a DM who lets you pick and choose whatever you want from both rule sets. This is the problem, because they're supposed to be compatible. And I was like, I would argue not. I would argue not, mainly because most of the new classes are OP compared with the old ones. Fighters have gotten a boost.
That's how I currently do it, though. Like, one of my players recently was like looking at ritual caster feat, and he looked at both and like, hey, you can choose either one, but like they're slightly different. So for now, we're doing it like that. We'll see if that breaks.
My ruling would be if you want to pick and choose, you have to pick for your character either 2024 or 2014. But if you're running a 2014 character with a bunch of people running 2024, I reckon you'll probably find yourself, unless it's a druid, rather underpowered. And yeah. Anyway, I can whinge about this for hours. We do have one more. I would like to make a quick addition to Karen's recap, because whilst you were having that conversation about I was like possessed by death a little bit with the dragon turned herself into a mapatch.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And she said that what's his face had been very naughty.
Yeah. The fucking the mapatch god was like, oh, he's a god now.
Half has been getting up to some shit. We're gonna have words next time. Half
we
turns
know
up.
now that Half and the dragons are from a different world, and they're basically doing that thing where you come from a more advanced civilization, and here you're seen as godlike.
Yeah.
So basically, Half is a bitch.
Yeah. Hath is a cheeky. I think the. I'm not going to say anymore. I'm happy to let that live where it is. I was like, no, if they've forgotten things that I mentioned, I'm not going to remind them. So
You have way better notes than I do. Come on.
No, well, obviously, because I'm writing. I'm the world. I'd hope I remember what happens.
It's like, you know how much progress I've made on denuding my notebook collection from D&D? It's significant.
Alrighty, so, mateys, may giant trees give you the strength to resurrect dragons, and all your waterbeds not be made of jelly, as we head, tremulously at first, and then with mounting heated passion, into the Humblewood. We're back again. Oh my god, who's back again? Ereq! You find yourself in a soft bed. The blankets piled up around you. The bedroom is familiar. You've awoken here thousands of times. Though maybe not for a few years now. What does it look like?
Where am I?
Your childhood bedroom.
Aww.
Breckenmill.
The blankets are made of silk. There are lavender curtains around the bed. It is everything that Ereq presents himself as not being. And is very different in aesthetic and tone to his secret hideaway nook. This is what he was bred to be. There's lots of books, lots of intricate wood carvings as well.
Love it. You feel strong and fit. You are the Ereq of, probably unsurprisingly, you are the Ereq you expect to look like. It's not a dream, or at least it doesn't feel like one. You are healthy. Your clothes are mended. You are fully clothed. If anything, that might be a little weird. You were wearing basically what you were wearing the last time you were awake. But it's all nice and mended and clean. The events of the death plane are clear in your memory, though you sense quite some time has. What do you do?
Hello? I'm not in that darn mist plane again, am I? I'm gonna like frantically pat at walls and things to try and make sure that everything is physically present.
Make a perception check.
Yeah, I just need to remember how to D&D.
First roll of the
Here we go.
the season.
And it's a 22.
May this bode well.
Ereq,
this bode well.
It all feels real as you pat around. You're like, no, this is real. But with the 22, the wood feels particularly real. Like more solid than the rest of it. The rest of it seems a little wishy-washy, if anything. Like it's still there, but it's like you notice for the first time actually there is a slightly dreamlike quality to it. The only bit of it that feels like you know how the details are important when you look at them. The details are there when you look for them, and you are conscious. It's not like you are being guided, but it is the bits of real solidity are all the wooden.
No, I'm not in that plane of mist. but I'm not home either. Old heart.
You the window, which would normally be, I think it is a knot. Like it's circular, and it's a like a knot in the trunk. It widens. The I think it's glass. I think this house would have glass in the windows, not the leafy texture stuff that lets light but not images through. The glass expands to remain in the hole, and looking out through it as the curtains kind of pull apart, you can see the veranda outside that runs around, and beyond that, in the distance, stands Alderheart. You've always been able to see it from here. It was probably why you liked the view. When you were old enough to choose, you chose this. You would have had a nursery, and you chose it for this reason, that you liked the big tree. And as you've grown up, even more so. But it's bigger. It's way bigger than you ever remembered. And maybe...
Is it closer?
Yes.
Is it closer and bigger?
Hard to say whether it is one or the other, but it's definitely one of them.
Yeah, okay.
Possibly both. Probably both. It's really hard to get a gauge on it in this space.
Am I free to leave? And I'm going to go to the door and try the door.
It is open. As you walk out, the tree seems to be drawing you to it. Presence is friendly, welcoming. Sort of an instinct in you know that. Start to approach, and for the first time really with the quality of, you are there. You never remember the moving to another place part. You stand before it.
Did I use transport through trees by accident?
The great roots have spread in your absence, some plunging deep into the ground, breaking it apart, seeming to subdue it, whilst gaining strength from it. Others drink from a great river that you don't remember curling around the base of the tree. There were streams, but not a torrent. It gushes towards the edifice against the pull of gravity. In other places beneath the tree, dark chasms split the earth, ghostly purple shadows spilling onto the roots that invade them. Others still drink greedily from canyons of yellow light. Even the wind that rustles the branches seems tamed to its will, supporting the structure rather than testing it. As you watch, you even see flames lick greedily up the trunk, only to flicker and fade, the blackened bark quickly replaced with new, vigorous growth.
How are the residents of the Underborough doing? The roots?
This, you feel, is... Actually, if that is what comes to mind, if that is your first query, there is a burst of green, blinding, and then you are there, in the tree, amongst it, moving among its people. They seem happy, vibrant. The tree is all around you, enfolding and protecting. You see the others, families, communities, whole nations, gathered up and protected in its bowers. Creature, much like the aspect of fire, flickers into life in front of you, standing tall and terrifying. And then, before you can even roar a challenge, it is just swatted aside.
By a branch?
Yes.
How you mentioned nations. How big is this tree? Is this tree their plane?
It is a world.
Mm-hmm.
You feel more than hear the words. All this could happen. Time of balance. Powers are emerging. Some have made play. Their strengths now open. Others hide. Across the plains, other forces move to claim godhood. I would use respect to make this plane truly ours. I cannot speak to help, or will you hinder? More than almost any other, you can guide the.
I want to look around. I've seen light. I've seen darkness. I've seen water, streams, rivers. The earth is clearly nourishing the tree. All that I've seen of fire is an elemental will be swatted away. Do I feel that things are truly in balance?
Between the elements, yes.
Mm-hmm.
What does occur to you is a seventh god would not bring balance. It would destabilize.
Unless it were to rule all the others and connect them all.
Not necessarily rule.
To be at its core.
Make me an Arcana check.
$15.
15.
Unless I have advantage because it deals with elemental stuff.
You actually have a level of exhaustion still,
either.
technically. So, yeah, I'm kind of giving you the benefit of the doubt on all of it. There she is. Hang on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry, the attention was a little too much on Brendan, so
No, that's fine. Yeah, Karen had to make it about her.
had to claw it back for a second.
Thanks, Karen.
There you go. All right, balanced. That is the trick. I think that's what you would pick up is that the key is balance. That if one is coming, there needs to be a way.
Then
to
something
balance
else needs to go.
that, or you can't add just one thing to the system.
Hmm.
Bitch, stop it.
Okay, I will help you to bring balance to the universe.
And suddenly, a wave of exhaustion washes over you, and you feel yourself glide into a viscous.
Ooh.
No.
Sounds like a typical Saturday night.
For the Tar Lord. Yep. So, we return.
Speaking of Tar Lords, Josh, I don't.
Would you like
think you mentioned the
to?
thing.
Do you want to slap up our wonderful new raid emote? So, because we have had the same raid emote since the channel started, and the character featured in said raid emote hasn't been in the show in over 100 episodes, nearly 100 episodes. So,
Yeah.
no, more than, way more than. Yeah, my mic's been weird. So Daria, if you want to slap that, do you have a membership? Can you slap that up in chat?
Well, I can't because I'm poor.
Oh, boo. Alrighty, I'll
That's
do
pretty you fucked up, bro.
it. Let us slap up the wonderful new Ereq raid emote.
Yes, there he is, a boy.
Oh,
And what you can't see because it's small is that the raid, the letters in raid are sort of linked together by gloopy bits of tar.
Yar.
cool. That's very cool.
And it's very
that's awesome.
satisfying.
It's very good. It arrived about 3 hours ago. I saw it about 2 hours ago. I was like, Karen.
Yeah, this
So-
is my first time looking at it, chat. I was given the opportunity before and I said, no,
Let it be a surprise.
you must have my live reaction on live.
Yeah.
And you're welcome. It was tepid and unemotive.
Nice. We didn't expect anything more than that from you. Never.
I was like, I don't know what I wasn't. I don't know if I was hoping for more, but I was expecting a little more.
Oh, shit.
I really
It's my
appreciate
guy.
your own assessment
It's the
of it, though.
Toro.
It's like, yeah, I was very
Do you know what we're on
underwhelming.
now?
But now we finally have
What are we on
Eric's
now,
face
Jeff?
as an emote. So, we
Yes.
return to the Alderheart, the great capital of the Humblewood. Within its roots and branches, a new equilibrium is beginning to blossom. Like the citizens of many large city, the people of the Alderheart take the changes of the last year or so in their stride. After all, they've seen elementals, wars, power struggles, an opera house torn apart by a creature made of wind, a pope fighting Satan. What is a few shadow beasts and a flying mythical lizard? You know, what's the big deal? Just another Tuesday in Alderheart. So, it has been a whole week, since the events of the last season. The dragon Kikihai has returned to her pile of shipwrecks, though she returns periodically to check on the slumbering, half-buried form of her friend Kitamoa, who, I want to be very specific, she is friends with Kitamoa's mother. She is not in any way a blood relative. Giantify the emo. Oh, nice. Watch your voice. Yeah, there you go. Looks great.
Oh yeah, you can see the gloops
Oh,
much
yes,
better.
you can see.
Yeah. The villagers of Thistledown are also watching over Kitamoa, with equal enthusiasm and significantly more trepidation. Julio, first of all, you have 3 levels of exhaustion,
Yes,
but
sir.
it has been 7 long rests.
Yeah.
So you may roll 7 d4s and see how many 4s you get. And that will detract.
So only a 4 gets
Only a
me
4
out
will
of
do it. Yeah.
Okay.
The end of every
First
long
one,
rest.
No. Yes.
Okay,
One.
one.
That one. Yes. One more. Nope. Okay, I got rid of 2.
So Julio and Ereq currently both have a single level of exhaustion.
Which gives us disadvantage on
Ability checks and saving throws, I think. Yeah, but you've got Bron
No,
around.
just
Is it?
ability checks, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, first exhaustion, yes.
Alrighty. So, what have Kesh, Bron, and Julio been doing in the last week or so?
Well, of course, when we get back, I would definitely check in on the sanctum, see how our goopy boy is doing, and also like what is the vibe? Because when we left, we just started ushering souls towards all the heart for the first time. So I'm very excited to see how the things are progressing.
Julio, make a perception check.
Okay.
Unless religion is better, but I expect it's perception.
Perception is 4. Religion is 5. But I did roll shit, so it's a 10 altogether.
What actually happens? Kiki Hai had agreed to. You had asked her help with Ereq. And she said, "I am fucking spent, bro. But I went tomorrow when I've had a good old snooze in my shipwreck fortress. I will come and maybe help it out." So you're there. You head in the following morning to check up on him, and there is a kind of a commotion the morning after when a gargantuan star dragon.
Did we do that?
Kind of shows up at the gates, and I think she probably lands in the branches because she's like, "This is very big." And yeah, lands in the branches and says, "I'm looking for the Pope."
My legend grows.
I owe him a favor.
Can I start circulating a rumor that we're together and this is my girlfriend?
You absolutely can. I advise you not to do it with her around, but you can.
Very quietly, but like, yeah, I'm tapping that. Yeah.
You were all about that dragon ass.
I want my Pope status to be legendary. I punched Satan. I fucked a star dragon. You know, I'm up there.
And this is what really messes people up. When she arrives, and I think this is very much on purpose, turns into a mapatch.
Mm-hmm.
She gets there and everyone's like,
now you're just doing a mapatch.
A mapatch or a raccoon?
A mapatch.
Mm-hmm.
She has no basis of reference for. She's not Hath, and she doesn't know what Hath does. So she was going off Kesh. That's who she was talking to. So the mapatch she turns into looks kind of like Kesh, not sister but cousin. Like there is a family resemblance with Kesh Glitterweave. Because she has no other frame of reference. She hadn't met any other raccoon
In
folk.
that case, can I instead start circulating the rumor that Kesh is also a dragon in disguise?
I like that one better. Yes.
Yeah.
With the Colonel Glitterweave. I'm really glad that you didn't go, because I was like, the Kesh is fucking her? No.
No.
Yeah, they are from the south of Humblewood.
Okay.
So yeah.
If she's helping, I definitely want to spend my week mostly dealing with like the matters of faith, the organizational stuff for our fledgling church, and of course I've been with the adventuring kind of neglecting the synod duties, so I'm mostly doing all the organizational stuff.
Sure. Synod is it's really only convened to discuss ecumenical matters when a big decision needs to be made. It's basically all the priests, all the high priests come all together and go, "Hey, we need to have a chat about this." You are now in that circle, but it's not a regular. We sit down once a week and have a coffee. It's every now and again we have a chat, but.
No,
definitely fucking happened this week though, because of the whole death plane thing. You were actually kind of called to stand in front of the synod rather than sit in it. Like hey, you are part of it, but also can you explain, please? It was definitely stated none too gently, but they all like. Yeah, wow, that's pretty cool. And a star dragon. What is that? She seems cool. She basically comes in, takes a look at Ereq and goes, my friend, I'm afraid I don't think I can do anything more than is already being done. The tree is so cool. And
it is, right? It's so
yes, very cool. You make me an insight check.
I would love to. Insight on a dragon? Fucking cat. She's sitting on the dice.
You rolled a cat.
I rolled a cat.
Natural cat.
Okay. Insight.
Natural cat.
Natural cat. Okay.
I feel like
16.
a natural cat is either a 20 or a 1,
16.
depending on the situation.
A 16. She is being genuine. She is genuinely impressed and surprised and kind of just weirded a little bit out by this tree. But she is maybe laying it on a little thicker than. She's not being 100% disingenuous, but she does. She is aware. I think you pick up that she thinks the tree might be listening.
Okay, so she's trying to play nice with the new, like, sentient,
She's like, this thing is.
deity.
This is the only thing I've encountered in this world so far that can really fuck me up. A small group of people, including a paladin, can do it, but honestly, I wasn't on my best day that day. This tree, on the other hand, I want to keep it on side.
Yeah.
But not because she doesn't like
case...
it. Just kind of no, wow.
Okay, in that case, I will quietly ask her for an alone. I will ask, so, where you hail from, do you have, like, giant magical trees like this? Or is all the heart one of a kind?
As best as I know, one of a kind, my friend. I've seen giant sentient trees, but not giant. Rare to meet a tree bigger than me. Even one that could talk. But awakened trees are a thing. I've met a few, and treants as well. Actual, just straight up. They're not trees, but they look like them. Absolutely. But no, I mean I haven't spoken to it. Him, he, she, it, they.
It occurs to me I don't think I've ever asked what's all the heart's pronouns.
Not one you normally think to go to, is it? But most trees are
rude.
When they pollinate, it is a male or a female. Trees do have a gender.
What's
and
the vibe?
It wouldn't shock me if this thing has an agenda too.
As a bisexual pope, what's the vibe that I was getting from all the heart?
With heavy transvestite tendencies.
Yeah, a little sprinkle there.
The vibe that you get is hardwood.
Yes.
Nice.
I think...
was there any like gender identity present?
Was there a portal of any shape?
How many orifices are you counting?
Branch from the base.
No. I would say if you had to put a gender. No, I'm not wanting to. I don't think it does. I think it is beyond it and above it. Yeah.
Makes sense.
They is probably a lot of trees that have
Are your
hermaphroditic.
pronouns he, she, they, or God?
It's like it's they with a capital T.
Yes. yes. In that case, if there is time between all the organizational stuff, I would like to do some communing with all the heart and with the Star Dragon to kind of be a liaison between them, and that would be all I'm doing this week.
She said, you are a spiritual leader, a religious leader here?
Yeah, I'm kind of a tree pope.
I don't know what that is, but sounds wonderful. Love that nobody knows what that is.
Yeah, not even Julio knows what that is. It's a self-assigned role.
She says, I would love, if possible, to meet the High Priest of the Faith of Hath.
Would I know who that is?
Yeah. He's on the Synod.
Wait. It's been so long. Whomst?
Oh,
did
you
we
haven't
meet them?
met. You haven't. I haven't named them yet.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
This is
I was
not
like,
a conversation I
am I
prepped,
forgetting, like,
so.
a key person?
But it would
Okay,
definitely
okay.
be something she would ask if you are having this chat.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, yeah, they're kind of a colleague of mine. We like the leaders of faith kind of have like a book club going. We can definitely have a meeting. I do have a question though. So for you, Hath is just a buddy, just a friend, right?
From a long time ago. I haven't seen her in donkeys, but yes, no. Not littermates
know
exactly,
why?
but we were quite close.
Do you know why Hath made the way to our world?
It wasn't always closed off. There are more than 7 planes. You just can't get to the others.
A multiverse of a kind, you're saying?
Yes. When you're in one, but it's a small one. There's a bigger one. You're kind of in a bubble.
Do I know what prompted the closed system for us? Was it the gods?
Yes. That's kind of it. This goes into legend. This goes into myth. This is straight up happened before the creation of this material plane. And actually kind of at the same time. Maybe a little bit after. The
and
planes,
that was the Amaranthine.
The planes sealed the door, sealed themselves away, and basically created their own little playground. And a bunch of stuff got stuck in there with them, including a few quite ancient beings. And that's basically Python and Ardea are the two that have been named. She is now implying, and this is new lore to the world, that Hath was there before. Hath was from before the creation of the universe.
Yeah, that's crazy.
As
that's crazy.
were
So
Python and Ardea. But that was
as
already
we
known.
knew this, as we knew, like the Titan and Ardea are like the mom and dad gods, and they like sired the rest in some way or another.
Yes.
Yes. But now that we know that Hath is like completely separate, and does the dragon imply that Titan and Ardea are not in charge of that system being closed off? Something else did it.
No. Well, I don't know what happened. I've been on the plane of death since before then. I was captured by it. I'm not sure exactly how. I don't remember very clearly. What I know of it is from the plane. I got it from the plane and whatever it was that was sort of possessing me. So it's very muddled, and I'm still sort of. But my impression was the planes put aside. It's very difficult to convince life and death to work together. It's very difficult to convince any of the two opposite ones to work together, and yet they somehow managed to. Someone convinced all 6 of them to make a 7th, to have a play around on. And what I'm picking up is that it was this Ardea and Titan pair. And went and made themselves a little playground in which to be deities. Not a bad move.
In that case, we can definitely establish a meeting with the Pope of Hath. They probably call themselves something else, but
they are really just one of the members of the synod who pays particular fealty to Hath.
I would argue that the Hath Pope should be called the Great Scrounger.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
That's really good. That's
the Great
really
Scrounger
good.
is what they are called.
I'll absolutely make an introduction. But I would like to ask you if you do decide to meet with Hath, could you take us with so we can discuss the matters of Cosmos more? As you can see, we are in the process of creating a path for all the heart to power, and if Hath was here all this time, I think their wisdom would be very important.
Yes. Oh, don't disagree. If I had the power to summon Hath, I wouldn't be here, frankly. But if Hath makes themselves known to me, I'll pass that on. It wouldn't shock me if Hath does come looking, because there's a dragon on the world that they're one of the gods of. I still can't get it. Don't get me wrong, she's lovely. She and I amazing. Go back ages, but yes, I'm kind of hoping she pops in. I'm actually doing the place up so that we can see. You're welcome too. Pop by, as you know, shoot me ascending. And yeah, you're very welcome anytime. The place is a lot less damp now, though. Please still don't blow up any flour in it.
We'll try our best.
Well, marvelous. Well, look, he looks like he's recovering. It looks, but the older heart's giving him all he needs. There's nothing more I can do, my dear. But yes, no, so you spend the week kind of Kikihai feels a little bit overwhelmed by the sheer mass of not humanity, but sort of humble folk, bird folk in the older heart. Kind of not country bumpkin, more just sort of autistic. And just sort of like, it's been a lot and it's been a long time since I was with large groups, so she just gets overwhelmed quite quickly and makes herself scarce and says, well, thank you so much for showing me around, and yeah, heads. But comes back a couple more times for chats and meetings and the synod, and yeah, so you spend your time on religious duties and or squiring around this dragon. You're not percolating the rumor that you're in a relationship with her.
No, but I am percolating the rumor that if
she and Kesh are related.
Mapache is really a dragon, you know, who the fuck Kesh is? Yep.
Okay.
I'm trying to forward Kesh's legend to, like, a godly fucking warrior status because, it's good.
Kesh Glitterweave, Secret Dragon, is the next opera. Kesh, you're muted.
I was actually mouthing, goddammit, but I am muted. I was muted as well.
Kesh, you are granted a 3-day leave. When you come back, like you probably need a rest.
Wow, it's so generous.
72 hours.
Oh
72
my God,
hours.
don't spoil me.
When you're in the military is huge. Paid, yeah. But you're in the military, and you know there are like actual elementals that have recently been seen, and you're the head of the elemental hunting task force, and even then they're like, no, you need a few days. I get it. When you come back in, it was to reports of a variety of troubling events. Some you can put down to the incursion from the death plane, but there is one from the mock fields telling of a tidal wave of mud and silt that drowned a couple of outlying villages around Winnowing Reach before it got to the Reach, but the Reach is built different and wasn't too badly damaged. It's because it's built up. And so only the low-level stuff was a problem, and it's also pretty used to being mucky already. On your first day back in the office, there is a banging on the door, and what sounds like a tussle outside. And you opened the door to find your subaltern, Lieutenant Diaz, in a wing lock, held by a smiling Mapache. It is not Kikihai, who you do, however, vaguely recognize. He is saying, mate, I reckon she'll want to hear this. You can make me a history check if you like.
Okay.
Is this one of the dudes that was helping us do resurgence in the city?
No.
No.
No, it's a brand new character. He is dressed in quite flamboyant attire, like big puffy sleeves, and an embroidered waistcoat, and knee-high boots.
That is a natural 20 on that history check.
Nice.
This is you knew him in your teens.
Ooh.
This is a man named Ned Procyon.
Ooh.
He was a bit of a rogue, even back then, but came from not money, but like he was well off. His family were sort of upper middle. In the same town you grew up in, of the same age. You probably ran with him as kids. Like, you were children together, then as teens. He got into the thievery for the thrill, not the money. didn't join the coalition, wasn't in it for a cause, but appears to have gone somewhat legit. And he says, Kesh, good to see you. Have you been?
Is he flirting with me?
No, he has just got this. I mean, maybe. You can
He
insight.
just had that swagger.
I actually insight this. My intent is just swagger, but yeah, no, insight this.
I love that he says two things and he's like, is he flirting?
Look,
26.
I rolled a
No, he is
26.
not. No, he has
just
always
does
been
this
this
to all
way.
the ladies. Okay. That's cool.
He does this to literally everybody. You have a pulse, and therefore he is doing it to you.
What was the question he asked again?
He said, "Good to see you," and then he lets Spencer go.
Poor Spencer.
And Spencer's like, "Ugh," and straightens his uniform. Colonel, Captain Procyon. And then sits back down at his desk and angrily shuffles some papers.
Nate, long time no see. Do I need to tell Spencer to check his pockets, or are we on a strictly social visit?
No, I thought I'd bring this straight to you. Heard some rumors about you. Very impressive stuff. Wondered if you wouldn't mind catching up with an old friend for a drink perhaps this evening, but that's not why I came. If you don't know, I happen to be the captain of a Hiscalia. Been off sailing the world for the last few years, but we heard things had settled down a little bit and thought we'd bring some trade back to the Humblewood. And, ooh, look who I find. Pretty bloody high up the Ziggurat lickety-split. Well, the Procyon flew over the mountains to the north, and we damn near got knocked out of the sky. There's something. Swooped in down and low after the whole thing had blown over. There was a tornado. Can't think of another word for it. A whirlwind. But they don't start on mountains. You need flat plains for that, and not a cloud in the sky. And it was kind of bustling around. It's very oddly centered around a village. Not much left of it now, but looked like some of the people got out, but the buildings...
Do you know which village, by any chance?
He does. Josh is making up a name. It is not the village. It's not near. There was a village near the castle. That's not. It's not that.
Basilton.
Sure. Basilton. I love it. I've already made up one mountain town, and I'm just stuck in that. No, South Perk.
South Perch?
Perch, yes, thank you, that's better. South Perch, which is hilariously in the north of the
Northern
Humblewood.
Mountains. But it's south of something.
It's south of the plains above the northern mountains, and it's inhabited by people who do not view themselves as of the Humblewood. They are, sort of border town folk, but they're not.
But they are humble.
They don't pay taxes to the older heart, but they are mainly humble folk.
Well, if they don't pay no taxes, they don't get no elemental service, do they?
Oh,
which means that we can charge them the private rates.
Well,
I just want to point out for
is your
Daria,
elemental insurance up to date, sir?
for Daria and other people who don't live in Perth, South Perth is a suburb. Which I assume this is a reference.
Actually, I was going lovely mountain town South Park.
Oh, I see.
It's layered, it's faceted, you
Yeah,
know?
it's good though.
It's all of the references.
Yeah.
Oh god. I've been writing on my book upside down.
or you've been writing
wrong.
it upside down the entire time, and only now have you rectified your mistake. Did you mean to roll another insight check, or is that
No,
when
that
Siri
was
jumped
Siri.
up?
Siri
Okay.
rolled the insight check.
He said, "Do you actually go? Well, then I think they'd better update their elemental insurance because if they do you do that or?"
No. That was Karen joking. Or maybe Kesh would have done say, technically that's not my area of responsibility. Do you know if they're insured? Joke.
He goes, he chuckles and he says, "Well, my point is, your elemental issue is getting beyond."
When was this? How long ago?
10 hours?
Oh wow, that recent. Okay.
Oh, the Procion's a fast one.
I'm impressed.
I'll be honest, we did
what's...
rig up, we did slap up a few extra sails. Actually, he would have said drop because the sails hang down. But yeah.
So this tornado.
I think that would be
appear to
probably misrepresenting what it was, but yes, it looked like one.
That terrifying tunnel of wind that came out of nowhere. Did it have any sort of a particular color or sheen to it, or did it just look normal apart from the fact it was happening in a place where that's not supposed to happen?
I'm gonna roll for it. Got a 16. I'm gonna say he's got a +2 to his history, because he's not an idiot, but I don't think he'd be proficient. So 18. He says nothing. I would have said he looked, and he actually for the first time, and his swagger seems to shift a little, flip. Like he's like, this did shook him more than he would like to. Says no, but normal, except for all of the things that wasn't normal about it. It seemed like a normal whirlwind. Seen a few, not many, but I have seen a few. What was upsetting? Music.
Music.
Yeah. Singing.
Singing. One voice or many?
Oh. Too many to make out. Like, you've heard the maybe you heard the it's a sailor thing. Sirens?
Yeah.
That. And it worked on the beastie too. Procyon wanted to go down and check it out. That was why we got so. Reining in a Hiscalia is, when it's got a mind to do something, difficult. I had to poke him in the eye, actually. Felt really bad. I apologize.
Did it affect your crew the same way, or just
not as
Hiscalia?
badly? It was when I poked him in the eye, it got worse. Like it was telling me off. But we don't know how. Somehow we made it away.
What level of communication are you capable of with the Hiscalia? Like, could you have a conversation, or is it more an exchange of kind of...
It's a mutual respect. There is a level of carrot and stick, donkey style. Like, donkey is not a beetle style. Like, you know, you dangle the food in front and they go. But these creatures are generally exceptionally gentle. As long as they're treated properly, they'll do whatever you
So, if I turned up with a treat and asked nicely, do you think it would elucidate on its experience?
Do you have the spells?
I don't know if I do. Oh, no, yes I do.
Yeah.
My ring gives it to me.
Then you can. It's a beast. It is technically a beast. So you could talk to it. He said, I've never held a conversation with one, but I've heard stories of, you know, druids and that.
Wow. I can do that.
I would
spell,
love to
so...
show you around my ship, Kesh.
Well, let's talk to the ship first and ascertain how urgent this situation is. And if it's not urgent, then ship tours, drinks, and catch-ups. If it is urgent, I might need to...
Well, the whirlwind
Spencer,
disappeared
hold my
shortly
calls.
after we left.
Sorry?
The whirlwind disappeared shortly after we managed to shake free of it. Kind of like it ran out of puff.
But the village was pretty banged up.
It kind of like it was going after us seconds.
Right. You would desert.
I don't like to put it like that, but sure. I like to be the one doing
dessert.
the eating the pudding rather than the being the pudding.
I'm so single.
Weird, the one person I feel comfortable flirting with on stream is my wife. And Terrace.
It's hard not to flirt.
Who
with Terrace,
actually,
just
it is
happens.
worthy to note, Terrace bought Ned Procyon, the character. Yeah.
Ah.
The board NPC. Yeah. I'm gonna jump to Bron quickly because John hasn't said anything in a while and he's been very good. John, what does Bron do?
I think after that, Bron was pretty beat up. I think he would take some time for himself.
Yeah.
And probably like to recharge his batteries, which probably to everyone else looks like fucking around, I think. He's going to make fun things. He's going to, sleep in.
It's worthy to note there is a project waiting for him when he gets back because you have a deep fat fryer with a person in it.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
Yeah, right. My ex-girlfriend is in your fryer.
You're kind of waiting on her body to maybe be brought back if Shazlax remembers and can do it.
Yeah, cool. I guess I'll be fucking around seeing if I can make something else for them to inhabit. Maybe they can move it. That would be fun. If there was like a possessed robot, that would be cool.
You've made an eye for her so she can see. I think you did make an ability for her to interact with the world physically. But I don't think it has arms. So she can walk around and she can look at stuff and listen to stuff. She doesn't need to eat. So her basic needs are met, but she's probably a little bored.
Bron definitely toys with the idea of just putting the shotgun back on and then goes, no, that's not an answer to this problem.
She'd be so
You
happy
look
though.
so bored. Here's a shotgun. Have fun.
No! Because she knew the bloke who used to own that shotgun. At one point, however, in that time, as you've been sort of scurrying around and I think hanging out with Gabby a bit.
Yeah.
Gabby and you just sort of talking shop and Raleigh going like sitting in the corner, twiddling her, swinging her little feets. I actually think she... Roro! Thank you for the default bonus, you bloody champion. Who's that for, my dear? Good to see you. Yeah, kicking her little feet, and I think at one point, you come in and find her and Gabby trying out the deep fat fryer function. She's like, and Riley's like, I can't eat, but I can cook, apparently.
Yes, great.
Would you like your hash browns deep fried by a sentient spirit inhabiting the deep fat fryer?
Double dip. Everyone is maxed out, Ro.
Woo!
Thank
Ro
you.
has an awful lot of channel points that she never gets to spend, so this is very cool. Thank you, Ro. I don't have an advantage. Just saying. How are you, my dear? I hope you're well. What am I doing? However, not Riley, the other one. Gabby is a tender. And about 3 days in, she comes to Bron with another tender who I think you've met. She said, Bron, this is Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Bob's been working on a project that Ereq gave him, actually, and he's wondering if he can pick our brains. And he asked me, and I was like, actually, I know another kind of inventive dude. Do you remember this? And she pulls out, or rather, no, Bob would say, do you remember this stuff? And he pulls out a bag of listen.
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember that.
I'm trying to make an artificial one to wean people off it. Similar effects, but less addictive, that we can then substitute because we don't have a source anymore, and thank goodness.
That's interesting. I don't know if I've done too much
Alchemy.
work with interaction with people, but surely there's going to be some crossover.
It's sort of just applying another brain to the whole thing, to the brain trust, basically. I'm not asking John or Bron to come up with the solution, but the three, basically what I had decided was that the three of you work together, maybe with Raleigh, kind of fun, including her more because she's bored and can't interact with the world particularly well, than because, you know, she actually is particularly helpful, though she maybe does provide a couple of interesting insights from her life of crime, for a delivery method and other stuff. You come up with, over the next few days, Muffle, which is a listen methadone.
Yeah, cool.
And
cool.
That is what you spend the week doing, but also kind of low-key. There was no time period given to it. Kesh, you go on a quick little date. Is there anything else, Bron, that you would like to do before Kesh goes on? Quite happy?
No, I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Alrighty. So Bron spends his time mostly in the workshop. Shows Raleigh around the tree, the super secret hideout, which I imagine Kikihai and Julio show up in a couple of times as well. Kesh, what do you do for the first couple of... What do you do with your 3 days off, Kesh?
Sleep a lot, having a spa day, go get like my nails filed and like my shoulders massaged or whatever.
So Kesh comes in on the beginning of the second day looking super fluffy. The tail is glorious.
Oh yeah, very fluffy. I got blow dried. And I got drunk on the second night, so my hangover is like gone now.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm rested, I'm ready, I'm calm, I'm centered, I'm focused.
Very demure, very
mindful.
mindful.
I'm gonna take my magical ring of speak with animals, and some Hiscalia treats, and go talk to a Hiscalia.
You do. You go and talk to Hiscalia, one of the glorious sky whales. This creature, imagine, rather than a whale, it is actually more of a short-necked diplodocus with no leg. So a long tail with a fluke, but no other limbs. Simply doesn't. And these creatures were long ago, and yeah, the body is incredibly swollen. And these creatures long ago formed a sort of compact with the first riders, that they slung little gondolas, and the first few were ships, so they just kind of, the style stayed. You put a little bow and it's got a keel and everything, more for structural stability than anything else, but made of very lightweight materials. So there's a fair amount of fabric rather than wood, to be as light as possible, because these things are lighter than air animals. They feast on fungal growths and algae in the clouds, and these are fairly heavy in methane.
So we're going to say methadone for a sec.
No, that's muffled. And you don't want a muffled Hiscalia. yeah, there is rigging all around them, ropes and such. There is a method of standing on top, and there is also a method that you can, and sort of the people who work on them wear shoes with little tiny claws in the bottoms, like soccer boots, but rather than studs, there are little, not thick, not long enough to pierce the skin or hurt the creature in any way. It's more for it would feel like a little bit of sandpaper, maybe. That sort of thing as they run around on top, but it gives them incredible grip. Yeah, Kesh, it is currently berthed, so it's pulled up alongside, and yeah, they, as in Daria, berthing a ship is where it pulls up not it's giving birth.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
The face you pulled.
Clues.
The face you pulled was like a all right.
I got it. Starts drawing rule 34.
Yeah, it is currently docked, moored up in the branches, and you are able to. You don't even have to climb aboard to physically reach out and touch it.
Well, I should probably like make eye contact before I go
Yeah,
stroking it. Or
and the
anything.
head is quite long, and sort of the neck. I actually think the neck is quite long. This one has a dorsal ridge, and is. I think it is. The skin is light grey, but it is lighter underneath, almost blue underneath, and green, sort of grey-green along the top. So that creatures above it, it looks like the ground, and creatures below it, it looks like the sky. So it's not an aerial predator, but it is for camouflage. And yeah. Its face swings around to look at you. Curiosity as Ned struts over to it. He very, I don't know about gallantly, but he very debonair offers you his arm and says, "Shall we, madam? Shall we, Colonel?" And Captain and Colonel, humorously enough, are round about the same rank. Even though his is very much an honorific because he owns the fucking ship.
Respect my authority.
I actually kind of love that if an army captain is on board a naval vessel, he gets a temporary, or he or she gets a temporary promotion to major. Because you can't have two captains on a ship.
Ah, that's fun.
It's kind of fun. I love that little detail. So yeah, you go over and you reach out and you cast Speak with Animals on the Hiscalia.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I'll raise my hand with my magical ring upon it, and I will say, "Greetings, noble." Fuck, I forgot the name.
His name is Procyon.
Procyon.
Which is a bit...
I went to look back and then remembered these 2 pages are written upside down.
it's a bit self-indulgent because Ned has named it after himself. It is the Procyon.
Greetings, noble Procyon.
It hums back. It's sort of a hooting holler, but you understand it mean a greeting in return. And it labels you friend.
Ah, that's sweet. Cool.
And he hands you, Ned hands you, it is a bundle of algae pressed into like a little ring, like a donut, about the size of a donut. He says, "Give it this." He loves them.
I'll be like, I brought you we brought you a treat.
Hold your hand flat. Hold your hand flat. Fingers flat. He won't mean to bite you, but he will. And there is a hoot of joy, a hoot of delight, like a horse eating an apple, except the hoot. And yeah, num 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 num. What do you ask?
I'll be like, I was hoping to talk to you about the strange wind funnel you witnessed in the mountains.
Hold to.
was it in a language that you recognized, or it was just more of a feeling?
Felt like home.
Ooh. Because, it's not like different, like, if the Hiscali is aligned with any sort of element, it's...
Oh, it's air.
Air.
They are
Yeah.
from the plane of air. It's not actually 100% known how they got here. They do all right. They also eat at mountaintops because there isn't nearly as much algae in the clouds here.
Have you ever felt that before, Procyon?
Born here. Never been assailed that.
So you've never encountered that sort of lure before from anything?
Didn't feel like a lure. Only Ned showed the day. Felt like.
What did it look like to you? Because to us it kind of looked like a tornado.
It nods. Well, no, it wouldn't actually. It hoots and agreed. That's what it looked like. These are interestingly not magical. Very much a biological thing. They're an animal, not an abomination or any other creature type, a beast.
Did you notice any magic or color in it?
Hiscalias don't have particularly good color vision, and you're speaking common, and Ned would say they don't.
Right.
And it says smelled like. It doesn't say. It just says. Not like Stephen or Raleigh.
Smelled like magic. Would you know that type of magic if you felt it again? A little concerning given what the wind was doing.
Not a particularly complicated creature. Lovely, friendly, kind, not particularly bright.
Cool. Well, I'll be like, thank you, Procyon. If you feel that again, check with Ned that it's safe.
And Ned goes, yeah. I don't want you to die, buddy, just as much as I don't want me to die.
And Kesh trans like, he doesn't want you to die.
Friend. Cool.
And I'll give it a little pat, like a little scritch or something. Like, thanks, bud.
Yeah. It shakes and he says behind the jaw.
Get in there and give it a good.
There is a little fin behind the jaw, so you have to sort of get in behind the fin. And I say little, it's probably a meter long, but you get in there and behind the fin, and you're like, very clearly. He says, we'll give it a good rub down later. A couple of new cabin boys on it. Can I shout you dinner, Colonel?
If I'm still in town by dinner time, yes.
Fair enough.
I have to go chase this up with some people. I'll send word to Procyon or someone on it.
eagerly await it.
Thanks, buddy.
I knew you were the right person to go to. And I think we'll have a short little breaklet there. Back in 5 to 10. I know it's been a lot of one-on-one, so I appreciate everyone's time and patience. And we'll be back very shortly for the group to come together. Right now, over me. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Vast ahoy and g'day mateys, we be back for some more humble weird, and it is weird today. There's a weird beastie that Kesh just had a lovely chat with. Yes. What was it, Kesh, you wanted to do after talking to that thing?
I'm trying to think, like, would there be someone, like, would having ourselves blamfed to South Perch be something that could happen today?
Not really. The council member Lee can do it, but it's a lot of magic, and she's not at your beck and call.
Yeah.
It's like it's firstly, they ain't citizens. So a relief effort, if you took it to somebody on the council, which would be your next port of call probably, they were like, we'll send somebody to check it out. We'll send out a column of Wildwood Brigadiers. You can even organize that if you want. If you want to go yourself, you're welcome to. We are not, whilst we are your bosses, we don't tell you exactly how to do your job. This probably would qualify as something you are called upon. It is within your remit, but it's not currently happening anymore. The thing went away. The tidal wave in the mock fields went away. If there are singular events, so far as we can tell. If you spoke to a specific council member, like Iari, she would say, there's more. This is just 2. There's more. I've heard of at least a half dozen others. I put some of them down to those death elementals that got in. I'd hold off. Send others, but don't go yourself.
Right. Then I will head
Something's
over to
building, Kesh.
Yeah, I just feel we need to check these out. We need someone to go and poke around and see.
I'll rustle up some relief supplies, and your brigadiers can deliver them. Right?
Yeah,
Humblewood. I mean, this is good publicity, and maybe we get another settlement into the bargain. Never let it be said I don't try and expand our borders in a nice way if possible. Send in the army for a good reason. And it's all the whole brigadier, the whole Wildwood Brigade's the whole thing, really, isn't it?
I mean...
In fact, no, don't you do it. That's not your job. Let Nils deal. No, Shyla. Let Shyla deal with it. That's her responsibility. You take a moment. Don't check on Ereq.
Yeah, just whoever goes, I want to talk to them when they get back. And make sure they check for any signs of magical interference.
Oh, I'll make sure a tender goes with them. If for healing, if nothing else.
Yeah, I feel like people were injured.
Hey, sorry, Yuki. Yes, this is not a new campaign where there are 2 ongoing ones in the world that I run side by side. I think you may have seen Midnight of Madness, which is our Curse of Strahd campaign. This is the other. This is Elements and Evil, which is in the Humblewood, so a different setting, but in the same multiverse. And there is the stuff that happens in one very much affects the other. Kesh, yeah. Shyla Den organizes a relief column, and Iari deputizes somebody to sort out some relief materials and a few other people. Yes, it is sent out, and then you maybe go for dinner with Ned Procyon.
Well, if I had time, I wanted to go check on Ereq before dinner. But
no, it's sort of middle of the day. You had several hours. Ereq, situation unchanged, though he looks healthier. He is still very much engulfed in goo.
Kesh can't resist giving him like a little poke, so he like wobbles on the jelly bed, be like, "Hey, Ereq."
A little wet willy.
Sorry, I am set. My wonderful channel artist is the lovely Daria Zhdanova, and she's right there. So, but thank you. Noted.
This is her turf. She will unleash the sharks.
She is responsible for the beautiful artwork next to me. Kesh, you have a lovely dinner with Ned. He is a gentleman, but you are super single.
I feel like, organizing a relief column for, a bunch of refugees.
It's not a turn on.
I think she's not in the hookup frame of mind.
No.
It's just kind of chilling with an old friend, getting the goss, What are those people we knew doing? What do they think I'm doing?
I do feel like a relief column is a euphemism for something.
Oh, he'd love you to relieve his column.
I'm looking for my own relief column.
Yeah, there it is. He does pivot. Like, it's always laid out there that if you wanted to lay it out there or lay down out there with it, that is an option, but he's not pushing for that.
Tell you what, chat, roll a D100, and if you get a 69, Kesh will sleep with Ned.
All right, there's a 1 in 100 chance Kesh is up for this.
I feel like with the amount of flirting that has been going on between them, 1 in 100 seems remarkably low. But okay.
73 is above 69.
Pretty close.
Close.
Ooh, so close, and yet so far.
So there's maybe a peck on the cheek. Close, but not. But what he does do...
Look me up if you're ever in town again.
3 fingers.
Spot you in the newspaper. Maybe some tasteful foreplay.
Yeah. Yeah, 4 off 69 after all. Very good, Mitch. Yes, good number work.
We make out in an alleyway for a bit.
Is that tasteful foreplay?
What's tasteless?
They knew each other as teenagers.
Well,
no,
tasteless is when you don't have a tongue.
He puts you on his he gets you on his ride and takes you out to the lookout. And then but then as he realizes that, it's not so much as he realizes that he's not getting lucky tonight. He probably is, just not with you. But he does sort of pivot a little bit, like, relief. That's how are they planning on getting there?
On foot, sadly.
Because I can probably, I don't know. Does the older heart have the ability to flick a little transportation fee my way? Because I can do it a little bit faster.
What, in Kesh's experience, would be her mental estimate of what a hiring fee for Ned Siscalia might be? And is it even going to be realistic,
1 hour of
budgetarily
tasteful
speaking?
foreplay.
This is tasteful 5 play now.
If you threw in an hour of tasteful 5 play, it would probably be fairly low. As a favor to his lovely friend Colonel Glitterweave.
We go back to my place. Do I get a discount?
You are at his place. It would be his place that you're taking there. If you went there and back, you'd be there and back again real quick as well. On the Hiscalia, you could go with me back within a day. That's sort of it's a lot faster. It's a 3-4 day hike for a relief column, whereas he could get them there in 8 hours. Like, he came from there in 9 hours, and it was a little bit of it wasn't the easiest thing to get in to see you. Spencer is not the only doorstop. He's just one of the less effective ones.
It's like Spencer never lets me have any fun.
Unless he can't prevent the fun from happening, in which case Ned comes in anyway. But yeah, it's like he charged. Ned said, purely, it would be a milk run. Purely, if I'm going out there with some Wildwood Brigadiers to protect us, I 20 gold pieces as a demonstration of goodwill to my hopeful new customers, Alderheart.
He so wants it.
You
Hey, Kesh.
smooth motherfucker. Okay.
He smiles, and the sunlight gleams off one of his teeth.
Yeah, there's ding sound
Yeah,
effect
there is a
out of
ding.
nowhere.
Yeah. And while your back is turned, he does a line of cocaine off his forearm.
Oh no! You made it worse.
No.
Fly.
It's like, why is he? You've got a little bit of a blood. No, it's all right.
Why is your face bleeding? Your pupils are super dilated.
Yeah.
What is this?
Like, Kesh is not in charge of the Wildwood Brigade anymore, so it's technically not up to her, but she will definitely relay the offer
So, noted.
to the relevant parties.
Yeah.
Be like, Ned's an old buddy, he's reliable, mostly.
Perfect. Yes. Okay.
The mostly feels so sassy, but I'm like,
Yeah.
he was a criminal. So was I. I'm mostly reliable.
Yeah. So with or without the 5 play, especially, certainly not in front of Diaz. 2 days later, Kesh, I'm going to say, 2 days later, Spencer brings a far more sedate report in about wakeworms and other sea beasties in unheard of numbers along the coast.
Well, this just gets better and better.
Julio, you feel around the beginning of the 7th day, morning of the 7th day.
And on the 7th day,
He rose
Julio,
from the slime to save us all
hate
from
that.
the
It's
tar.
got to be 8 days now. Julio feels a pull from the Alderheart tugging him towards the because your super secret hideout is not where Ereq is. Ereq is in what was Leandric's workshop.
Yes. In the Goo Sanctuary.
In the Goo Sanctuary. Heading down, you head towards that. And Julio, as you enter the cavern, I'm gonna say if Bron would like to go with, you two could have been hanging out certainly very.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I was probably visiting to see what progress on Riley's existence is looking like. So we probably just taking a scroll.
And Bron can say there has been some improvement. There's now like a little pokey stick with a hand.
yeah.
So
And
It's
the
a
shotgun
grabber.
on the other side.
It's a reacher grabber.
Ma.
Yeah. And there's also a
Great.
suction
Sticky
cup.
tape with 5 play written on it.
No, there's a reacher grabber on one side and a suction cup on the other.
Like I said.
And an eye stalk
We will-
sticking out the top.
We will experiment with this later.
It'll do.
It'll do.
For science.
Riley's voice has become strangely distorted and tinny.
It's because the deep fat has been the fat has been removed. Julio and Bron, as you enter the cavern in the roots, you see something person-shaped, but composed of bark and vines, leaning over Ereq's form.
Ooh.
Does it give off Alderheart vibes, or is it like an intruder? What is it?
Is my arm tingling?
Oh yeah, your arm. Your arm is tingling like crazy. It does appear to have sort of purpley bits moving around inside of it.
Wait, I forgot. Why is Bron's arm tingling?
Remember when I plunged it into the pool of Alderheart magic?
Oh yes.
And it's now kind of
Right.
covered in bark.
Yeah.
Yes.
Against Eric's wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who cares about Ereq's wishes? Look where we are, look where he is, okay?
Eric's just like, this time unconscious in the slime bed has been so relaxing. Wakes up. Oh,
Fuck.
Ereq is gonna wake up and be like, I told you not to put your hand in the slime. Why would you put me in the slime?
Wakes
I'm
up
going
and
back to sleep.
finds a figure made entirely of wood and vines standing in front of him and he goes, "Pardon?"
Oh God, he's made it worse.
Yeah.
Ereq has just turned into a figure entirely made out of spite.
And tar. The figure as you come in is kind of like its one hand has 3 fingers and it's sort of rubbing or not rubbing, caressing the ooze.
Excuse
It's
me?
probably not the best vibes.
Yeah. Hey, hands off, ooze. Who are you?
I
Whose
think
ooze
maybe
is
X-Nay only giving commands to the possible god A.
Then one of the claws, it sort of lances it into the ooze at Ereq's face.
Ooh.
Okay,
Ooh.
I rapidly approach. I want to assess what the fuck we're doing.
That's a
It
2 on the death save.
It
Shit.
draws the claw down and sort of peels the ooze away from Ereq's face as you approach, Julio.
Okay.
And then it turns to look at you. Its face is kind of bird face shape. It has a proto beak, but it's like blocky. And the eyes are not level, but they both glow with... There's no pupils, it's just light. But it's a dark purple light.
This is a fucking
Quick
Minecraft
question.
creature.
Yeah,
Chicken
quick
jockey.
question.
Oh, it's significantly
On
better,
my-
higher resolution, though.
What's my current state concerning the eyeballs? Because so much has happened. I don't have my elemental eye. I also don't have my death eye anymore, right? I have just a
I think you recovered the
a
death eye, but
tantalizing
someone
hole.
yeah. I think someone really suggested not putting the death eye back in. But you
Who
do
was
have
it? Was it Ereq? I'm putting it in.
I don't think it was Ereq.
I think it was
actually.
me.
I think he was unconscious, and I think Braun said, "Nah, dude, no."
Nah.
Don't want to have to hammer
Okay.
that back out again.
So I don't have my ability to like look at elemental auras. Can I just vibe check like inside this creature?
Yeah, you can make an insight check. Braun can too, if he likes.
Because it feels like an extension of our tree, but I'm not sure yet. My insight is 16 again.
Oh, Braun?
Oh, wow. I rolled with
8.
advantage and got 8 with a +5.
It
No,
is worthy to
+3.
note Julio is
Strong.
rolling with a disadvantage because...
Yes, so right. I have exhaustion. So the second one was so much better though. So 16
Oh, well.
still.
Good, 16. I reckon your hand has gone to the hilt of your weapon. And you stop
like
yourself just as it turns to look at you. And you see recognition in its eyes. And its beak creaks open. And in a voice you struggle to place, it says,
You once upon a dream.
So the voice
I
it
don't
sounds
think
familiar.
so, buddy.
You can history check if you like. Both of you.
I would like to.
Ooh.
Is it the guy that used to be here? The fella? I don't know.
I failed the insight, but I got a nat 20 on the history. So I
That's
don't know
good
who
because
the
I
hell
only
this
had a
is.
2 on
All right.
history.
Bron, that's Borain Bitterground's voice.
It's boring bit of ground again.
He was one of the
The-
leaders of the people in the Death Plane.
And he went into all the heart. Yes.
Yes.
Thick.
I'm gonna say his name out loud and be like, Borain Bitterground.
and his head, there is a creak, and his head, fully like 180 degrees, turns around and looks at you, and it says, "Yes, once." And then the head continues and faces back to Julio again. "I'm here to help him out."
Oh. Okay then. All right. And I step back and observe what it's doing.
Help him out or help him get out of the...
By way of
Help
an
him out
answer,
this life.
he reached this. It is a tree element. Reaches into the ooze with both of its limbs. The shoulder joint of one is about 3 inches higher than the other. It is an exceptionally organic, but like tree-like being. And dryad or tree man, pick your pick sort of thing, but person-sized and shaped-ish, reaches in and kind of grabs Ereq by the shoulder. Ereq, your eyes flicker open. The last thing you saw was the older heart talking, and it pulls you out, gently but firmly, to a sitting position. You are waist deep in the ooze. He is ill as much as...
Whoa.
Ereq, can you hear us?
Yes. I can see this tree elemental.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Do I recognize him?
No. But no, I actually yes, instinctively.
Yeah.
You know, you actually recognize. Yeah, it's not boring bitter ground, but it used to be.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of
using him as a template.
Yeah, that's probably a really good way of putting it. He is about 40% of what it is.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to... I assume is its hand still kind of outstretched, having...
It doesn't... It lets you
me?
go and stands back, but it does reach out a branch to offer you further assistance if you want. And
yeah, I will grab it and lift myself out.
With a voice like the wind through the trees, it says, "Oh." And
do we have time for that?
Threats are past.
I'll help Ereq get out of the ooze, and I'll say everything has been quite okay while you were gone. We met a star dragon. We made friends with it. We got some information about Hath. We'll tell you all about it. But
Moraine turns
as of right
and
now,
puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Oh."
Everything is okay right now.
But faster than that.
I felt like it was referring to the metaphysical problems that you've just given me to deal with.
Problems?
That's fine. Well...
We're nothing but solutions, right?
I think that's the name of the
How
party.
long has it been?
About a week.
What are my last mortal conscious memories?
Slamming the door closed.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, the last thing that he has done. Star Dragon, the elementals, the death elementals that came through, what's happened?
We cleaned them up mostly. I think we got most of them. I think there's not many left.
You got most, and
met,
the wizards got the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so...
I think you met one of the paladins before you blacked out, right? She was pretty cool. Cooler than some other people we know. Kind of said she's gone, But hey,
She seemed like a fucking bitch.
She was that too. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, she's getting like the rest of it sorted, but we figured out what happened.
Which is.
I look
You
at
just leave me
the
hanging
bit
on
of
that one.
rand. I'm like, can I continue? Is it
Florian's
too
like,
much info?
well, if you're going to say that much.
So yeah, basically,
Hope he may be, storyteller he is not.
Hey, I'm a bard. Thank you very much. I'm a bard.
Yes, that's why we're so confused.
The problem is, I fucking forgot what happened. So I'm being so vague because I don't remember.
I mean, we can skip to
Yeah.
the end of the explanation.
If you want to,
I will
Yeah.
tell an engaging bard-like story to my friend.
just a
It's
shame you can't
Wow.
roleplay that.
entertaining and
Julio, that was so engaging. I wish that we could converse like this more often.
In cutscenes. Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
really glad
fourth
as
wall
well that
break.
we included all the bad blood that we had, so that
Yeah.
we aired that, and now we're
Yes,
fine.
yes. I'm glad that we did have a resolution to our conflict, and it was not swept under the rug. by
Borain
any
and Braun are
situation.
sitting there on a couch like tennis match watching. Probably
Okay,
on the
so-
ooze.
So what's happening now?
Well, what's happening now is Kesh is kind of figuring out some other stuff. There's some concerning reports reaching us from places further away from Humblewood. But
Are there?
I think we should go meet her, right? Where would she be right now? Would I know?
Probably in her office. Or
Yeah.
Are you
the
fit to
captain's
walk,
cabin
Ereq?
on the Procyon. I don't know.
No, they didn't roll
Ken
a 69.
Yeah.
Get that.
You're gonna be
Yeah, are you
waiting
okay
for
to
a whole
walk, Ereq?
fucking season.
Yes,
Hey, we're going to set up a fun little will, though, won't they? And
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
keeps turning up, and Cash keeps going, no, I should just
I
focus
mean, the great
on
thing
work
is that
and-
he's the
It's
great
not-
booty call in the sky. He can come and go as he pleases.
Yeah, he always does. It's not will they, won't they? We know they will. So,
when.
like, what's the point? Yeah.
it's will they do it on the giant sky elemental, not whale?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this:
When
if
the
you
scales
had
are
a
up and
giant
don't come and
sky
knocking.
whale, and that was more than up for you fucking on its back, would you?
Not in public.
Well, it's not public if just the sky whale is watching.
I mean, I think it harkens back to when Kesh could speak with it, and it was like there's something unsettling about a pet or creature that you're patting being like, oh yeah, that's the spot. Oh yeah, scratch
Yeah,
me.
but think
Yeah.
about
Oh.
it. It's also like the fantasy equivalent of the Mile High Club. So I
Yeah.
suppose.
Got it at least once.
Yes, I can
Just
walk.
some.
I can walk to where the plot is.
As we turn to leave, I will pause and look at the wood elemental, the creature, and say, are you staying here to guard this place? What's your current plan?
It's always kind of been, I don't know if this has come across, but in my portrayal, but it's a bit spaced out. It's still kind of figuring out. It wasn't here the last time you were here, which would have been at least yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's what I had you roll for earlier. To notice it growing.
Oh.
But you didn't.
Can I do an Arcana or Insight check
Yeah.
on this
On
thing as the
to
elemental
determine
guy?
what.
I suspect that it is only just learning how to exist,
Yep.
and I'm that as in the elemental, and that as in terms of the older heart learning how to manifest itself.
Yep.
This is basically the first ever
Please.
wood elemental.
Yes. Please make me an Arcana check to determine that. Brendan is correct. That is Ereq. Mm-hmm.
16.
Disadvantage as well as a point.
Oh, yeah. Natural one.
Oof. Ereq has no freaking clue. Ereq is like fuzzy on this. There is in Ereq's mind, and I actually think this is perfectly logical, a gap. Where Ereq, I think you are vaguely aware that there is something missing in your mind, but you're not sure what it is. And you kind of, it's only subconscious. I think it bothers you, but you don't know why, or even are able to confront why. Even to confront that it is missing.
I'm going to look at the tree elemental for a couple seconds in silence and then turn away and scratch the back of my head. And I assume there are still tenders posted here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside, not in, but yeah.
Okay. Then on our way.
Yep. Sorry.
On our way out, I will send a tender. I'll say to a tender, I'm going to go meet with Colonel Glitterweave. In the meantime, can you gather up all ranking members of the tenders for a meeting within the next hour?
Yeah. There would. I don't actually think it would be a tender. I think that would have been downgraded in sort of like a. This is not currently a terrifying problem. There would have been guards, however. There were definitely brigadiers.
Well, I could be wrong, but I remember wanting tenders at least to be here, if not to look into things, because this is an elemental.
And it was only a week ago. They probably wouldn't have changed the ruling on that. All right, yeah, no fair.
Even
there
if it
would
was
probably
only, like,
just be one. It would be one and a brigadier. So yeah, this one goes. Yeah, all right, I'll go, and does so. And you go and see Kesh. The elemental does not.
How am
follow.
I? Sorry, just because the question came up. How am I walking? Am I physically
I reckon
doing okay?
You're still like there's a. I think
Still
you feel
fatigued?
like you've had a long day. You know, like you've had you got up at 7 a.m. You did a full day's stuff. Then you came. Then you finished work and did some social, and then you got home, and you've still got maybe a couple of emails to send. That tired.
I woke up at 7 a.m., did a whole day of work, and now it's 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jealous. If that leaves you fatigued, then yeah, that. Yeah. Not bone weary, but I'm done. Kind of.
Yeah.
You woke up feeling done. Yeah.
Been there.
Morning. I'm a lot
All
more
the time,
energized now
baby.
than I was for the first hour of my existence today. So yeah,
Okay.
you go
Let's
and
go see Kesh.
the tree elemental does not go with. It does, however, come with you up the corridor a little bit. It seems to be examining the remainders of Leandric's presence down there, the mechanical stuff, and possibly with the intention of removing it.
I was gonna say mechanical's fine. There's no leftover power anything.
No.
Good. Okay, cool. Good.
You dismantled that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. You head to Kesh.
When we get to Kesh, I knock for a couple of minutes to make sure we're not interrupting anything.
Spencer
Spencer goes,
on the doorknob.
Yeah, it's a necktie. Yeah, and Spencer goes, no, she's not in there. She's not with anybody. You guys are allowed, right? Oh, Mr.
opened the
Ashbourne,
door.
good to see you back.
Yes, you too, Spencer.
You go in.
Yes, sir.
Kesh will look up and be like, Ereq! And like dash around, like give you a massive hug. Like, bring it in, buddy! You're not dead! That's amazing. How do you
No.
feel? Are you okay? Do you need a snack?
You know what? Yes, I would love a snack, some fruit maybe. I just ask that you keep the volume down a little bit. I have literally just woken up out of a bed of slime, and I'm still feeling a bit woozy.
We
Absolutely,
have to take
absolutely.
it slow.
And then Kesh at the top of her lungs goes, Spencer!
And he goes, on it! I'm only like 12 feet away.
It's for comedic effect. Just,
I know.
fine.
I was planning on shouting too. Don't worry. We got each other.
No, just
and Kesh will like move a stack of like paperwork off a chair and like push it at Ereq. Be like, sit. So how was the slime bed?
well, the older heart has just learned how to manifest elementals.
Oh,
Growing up quickly.
that's cool. Like, are they cognizant?
Yes, we could have a conversation with it. It knew whose soul energy it was using, if that's how it works. It looked like the guy.
Borain.
What's Borain?
Oh,
Hmm.
that's not a bad afterlife.
No.
I'd be cool with that.
But it does kind of suggest that every elemental we've ever seen is powered by someone's soul.
Yeah.
Ereq, I wonder if hope is the same way.
Well, I suppose that, I mean, every soul has to have hope, right?
No, I mean like yours.
No.
Is your elemental
Yes,
like someone's soul? That's weird.
I use the elements quite a lot, so I suppose you could say that my soul is elementally affiliated.
No. Your specific elemental. Hope, the bird.
A fire.
The little...
I think
What?
he's still not there fully.
Yeah, maybe another couple hours in the slime bed.
I know I'm
the-
so fine.
The fire bird.
Get
you
back in
summoned.
there.
You don't remember hope right now?
Well, I'm trying to find some damn hope in this world. I as we were walking to your office, I was hearing about floods and earthquakes and wake worms again. But I think we just need to focus on.
Wigwams.
No, not like the abstract concept of hope. You had an elemental called hope.
Yeah, little firebird.
I mean, I can call upon elementals from the different planes. I guess I called.
No, you
one hope,
had
but
a
yeah.
you had a specific. It was like if you were a wizard, it would be like you're familiar, right? But you're not.
Can I
I'm
roll
not
medicine
familiar.
to see
Is it in your
if
staff
he's
still?
concussed?
You can. Please make a medicine check.
I shake my staff.
Ooh,
Because isn't this-
19. I'm looking for signs of like memory loss, concussion, anything like that.
With disadvantage?
Oh shit, you're so right. I forget every time. I'm so sorry. My die.
I guess while we're waiting for the
I
second
recovered.
roll, Josh.
Ooh, it's good still, but it's better than the previous one. So 19 it is. I rolled a 17 and 18 on the die.
Nice.
I was just going to ask, does Ereq still have a red feather?
No. Julio, your medicine check. No, he's not concussed. Feather is purple.
Purple.
Dark purple. Almost black. It's pretty much doesn't show up, but it is a different color. It's not red.
Kesh has been furiously scribbling on a scrap of paper and holds up a fairly average depiction of what hope looks like and is like, this hope, this physical being called hope that you could summon with magic.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
She can like teleport you in a ball of fire that singes everyone around you. It's very cool.
She saved
When
our
was
ass
the
on the death
last-
plane.
Yeah, when was the last time we saw Hope?
I think
I was
that
out
was
of it
it.
in the death plane,
Wrong.
but
Saved your ass on the.
Yeah.
Do I remember anything about that event on the death plane?
I mean, you
Or
remember.
do I just remember booking it?
You remember the events on the death plane very clearly. It's kind of like Hope has been edited out.
Ah, the Snyder Cut.
Of course. Release the Ereq cut. With,
I would argue that the Snyder Cut has no hope in it.
Damn. Catching strays.
Yes, I mean, we were running and we were being chased by death elementals as we were trying to get through the vagina-shaped portal, and there was like this purple leviathan that was pulling things back down with its tentacles, and otherwise that was that.
I mean,
Ereq, you can make a wisdom check with no proficiency. Wisdom check.
Can I inspire him? Can I be like, your feather on your face, it used to be red, now it's purple. You remember looking at yourself in the mirror before, right?
That is very good. You now have a D8?
A D8. I think it's a D8 because I'm a bard, baby.
Yep.
Okay. And I will add a D8 to this.
Yeah. And don't forget,
15.
you also have a D4 from Ro if you wanted.
Yeah, I'm not fucking using that for this.
It's also worthy to note
You
that
bitch.
it's a check, so it is disadvantage.
Ah, yeah.
What that?
16 better. Okay, so it is 15 total.
I can give you another 5 to that.
Yeah. Do it. Bring it to 20. Yeah.
20. Bron, what do you say? How does this?
I think Flash of Genius, right? So the idea just comes to me as he's trying to remember it. I think I get his staff because I changed his staff to add another notch, didn't I? So he already had a notch, I think, for the Hope gem.
No.
No?
That wasn't a Hope gem.
It was
from the fire. Oh yeah, no, it was Earth.
Life.
No.
Life.
Yeah.
Life.
Hope was keyed to the feather in his face.
Okay.
Yeah. Bron, your flash of genius, if it helps, he needs a specific thing that Hope couldn't have been edited out of.
I think I walk him through. I say, no, but like on the death plane as we were getting away, don't you remember seeing
He definitely teleported with fire. At least one.
Yeah. But I was going to say, because like Hope drew off all of the forces and we saw all of the forces go somewhere else, right? They were chasing Hope. And we got the small amount. And that small amount, we couldn't have had just that small amount if something wasn't drawing them off.
That helps. Ereq.
I was going to say, if Kesh wants to throw in some kind of reminder as well, then I will use that to justify adding a D4 to the roll.
Ooh, yeah, let's get this.
I'm trying to remember how she went out. She dived towards Ereq, didn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, Kesh, apart from Ereq, has known Hope for the longest.
Yeah, Hope was killed. Hope pretty much sacrificed herself.
Hope sacrificed herself to save you, Ereq. She dived with all these dead creatures following her, but she didn't stop until she was sure we could get out safely.
Me too. Ereq, you look in that place that you didn't want.
Mm-hmm.
There is something in there. Something inside you. A roiling... There's a fight going on inside. Like a churning. There is a ball of fire and death but you can't disentangle what it is. You want to remember it, and you know what they're talking about makes sense, but you have no memory of
You don't remember the nest? The metal nest?
it. It's in his pocket, but he
That
has
you
no
sent him?
context for it.
I will look through my pack or whatever has it, and we'll pick it up and look at it, and then I'll get a migraine again and yell, and I will do a burning hands towards the roof as like an expression of anguish, and like partway through the flames turn black and into goop and like hit the ceiling and then start to drip down as tar.
Oh.
Ooh.
That
We
again.
can maybe take this slow, like was suggested, and maybe we'll.
I
We
think
don't
we
need
should,
to remind.
I think we should go see the tenders, maybe.
Yeah.
Just to kind of check that all the brain bits are working, because something
I
about
don't-
this
I'm
isn't right.
I'm sorry, I don't. I know that this is something that likely needs to be dealt with, but I don't know how this is relevant to what is happening with the town and with everything else that is happening with the other planes. Is that not something that we should be focusing on?
We will. Ereq, can I ask you to do something for me if you can? Can you cast Greater Restoration on yourself?
I suppose. Sure.
If you're under effects of any curse, that would help get rid of it, right?
We don't know it's a
in
curse.
theory, if I am cursed, yes. I think I've got some diamond dust in here somewhere.
Surely the tenders do as well.
Not actually a particularly wealthy organization, but I'm going to say for funsies, Ereq has 2 castings of it as a gift from Kekahai. She basically just here. She has a hoard.
She's a star dragon, right?
She's a
It's
star
Stardust.
dragon. I love that idea, but no, it's from the treasure chest in the ship. And she's just like, here as a thank you to Julio at one point, so Julio can fish out a thing of that.
I will.
So, Ereq, I believe, does have some, but this is a costless.
Yeah.
Because it heals your level of exhaustion, but it does not heal this.
Okay. So, I mean, look,
Well,
not a curse.
I feel better.
I would say you are now aware of the gaps in your mind. It's like someone has gone through all the pictures and cut something out.
Okay. Right. I have flashes and I have what is otherwise a lucid memory, but it skips. But what I do remember is, and the DM can correct me if I say something he doesn't want me to say, when we were making that final dash towards the portal, the one that took us to the mist plane, but we thought anyway, Kesh and I had been grabbed by elementals as we made that last push, and then we both came out, but then we had to re-exercise Kesh. Am I making that up? I think it happened.
You passed Kesh and Ereq through a magic barrier, but then you clocked that barrier wasn't the one that Kesh had cast. It was a lure to make Kesh turn that one off. So it's entirely possible that the creature into you.
In both of us, because Brendan had the recollection that Kesh's one got dealt with, but that might not be true.
It never got mentioned, and Kesh has been not acting oddly. Kesh has been Kesh. I think a check was done, and Kesh is Kesh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I still think we should take you to the tenders because memory loss after a traumatic incident isn't unusual, but memory loss specifically of one thing that, has been in your life for years is
interesting, to say the least.
Weird.
Why hope?
And I know that it might feel to you right now that there's more pressing matters, but if we do get into shit, she's really handy, and when you realize you don't have her, you're gonna miss her. So
okay,
I feel like it's worth investigating. Also, if you are cursed or possessed or something, we'd like to know about that.
I think you would also suggest this if somebody else was in your place.
Yes, I think you're right. I'm happy to go to the tender hole.
Take your own theoretical advice.
I'm terrible at that. And Kesh, you are too. Let's be real.
Kesh,
I have a quick question, and it's a side thing, and I don't think we're gonna deal with it right now. But when Braun says, "If someone else was in your shoes, this is what you would say," is there any indication of the gap that Braun experienced in what he's saying? Because he also lost something, but years ago, to make amends with a god.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm just putting it out there.
I don't think in any way Braun is cognizant of the minor hypocrisy he just committed.
Yeah, okay.
No.
We would not be able to
what you're
insert
putting
that.
down is that the death elemental living inside Braun is coaching the death elemental living inside Ereq to be like, hey, dude, be cool.
Act cool.
Yeah.
Stop freaking him out.
Yes.
Except bronze isn't a death elemental. It's a Hath. No, a Kren elemental.
Kren.
Kren.
So
don't like Kren.
Final bit before we call it for this evening, I think. Kesh, Spencer knocks on the door very gently, and he's got a bowl of fruit. It looks like it might have taken slightly longer because it looks like he's done an effort to artfully arrange it. And protruding from the top is a neatly folded. It's not an envelope. It's literally a piece of paper that has been folded in thirds and then wax sealed. And it's addressed
my
to
talons
Cash.
into the bowl and grab a bunch of fruit because I haven't eaten in a week.
You've been being fed somewhat intravenously by the ooze, and it's not tasty. Kesh, on the other hand, plucks the envelope out because it is labelled Colonel Glitterweave. I
think he's eating my edible arrangement. Hang on. Read the note.
Yeah, it's from Procyon. No.
It's from Ned.
Yeah.
I've laced this with aphrodisiac.
Ereq has a massive, a hugely powerful cloaca for the next several days. It's not.
Thanks
It's
for
from,
that mental image.
Unfortunately, it's actually from Iari, and the prophylactics in it are weird. It's from Iari requesting Colonel Glitterweave and her team.
That's us.
For a meeting. And I think we'll leave it there. And and you guys can decide which one to do first next time. Granny might want to
Well.
see Ereq. She doesn't appear to have mentioned, like, it's Kesh and team, not Kesh, Ereq, Bron, and Julio. It's Kesh and whoever Kesh chooses to bring. She does not appear to be, I mean, it's not fresh, but the wax is warm.
But
So,
I'm just
I
telling you
woke up,
already.
what, like half an hour ago. Like,
yeah. News
it
has not
probably
fully
was
spread.
sent at the same time.
Yeah. So guys, that's been a wonderful session. It's been good. It's been so good to be back with these guys. I have missed this the bullshit roleplay. I thank you very much, players, for your forbearance, because I know this was a bit of, hey, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And whole scenes. Brendan did the first bit and then sat quietly for 45 minutes. John had to wait nearly 45 minutes before he got to do anything. But so yeah, I thank you very much for that. But it was good to give the time and give the space, and I'm thanking you for it, but not at all surprised that you gave it, because you're very lovely and professional. So we need to flatter these lovely folks, and I've just done a bit of it, but we need to flatter them more, because we had a great stream, and we'd like to do our favorite moments where we go around the room and say what everybody did well. So guys, who we've got some people. If we could roll a D5 in chat to decide who gets to go first.
Can you remind us how to roll it?
Roll, exclamation mark, roll, space, the number 5.
Hey, like this?
Like that, exactly. That's a 5.
Ah,
That's Brendan.
Yay!
Oh no, it's
very
me.
fitting.
Dibs.
Very fitting.
My favorite Ereq moment, I wrote it down because it was that good, was, yes, I can walk.
Damn it, that's what I wrote too.
Very funny.
It was very good.
That just the comedic timing of the yes, I can walk. Wow, beautiful.
I really enjoyed the intro sequence, of course, because we got a glimpse of like both Ereq's past and possible future, which was really cool. I liked the communication between Aldeheart and Ereq. That's really nice.
Glad that it hasn't come up yet.
Yeah.
I might be an easy one, but I really liked how you played Forgetting Hope, and how difficult it was to actually get through to you what we were talking about, because it would be. I thought that was a lovely touch, and you didn't just jump straight to, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. You know, you made us work for it, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah, no.
I was briefly but powerfully reminded of the scene in Dude, Where's My Car, where one of them has the dude tattoo and the other one has the sweet tattoo. It's like, dude, what does my tattoo say? Dude, yeah, but what does it say? What does mine say? Sweet, yeah, but what does it say? Yeah.
Yeah, no. Lost in Translation is very fun. I've always loved the sort of distance and respect, and Brendan going like, DM is welcome to tell me I'm wrong. But bringing that back in and mentioning it was perfectly timed. Bringing back those things, and is Kesh maybe possessed? And is Ereq maybe possessed? We're not sure. And I was just like, no. I'm glad someone remembers.
Oh, we're all a little possessed at the end of the day.
Who? Yes. What's a little possession between friends?
Yeah, because it was difficult because Ereq is still Ereq, and Ereq is still a really intelligent, like sickeningly, disgustingly intelligent person who's very analytical and works through things step by step. So I was struggling to like find the line between and to like imagine what the thought process is for someone whose memory has been tampered in a really specific way. So that I found that really interesting, and I had in the months between last season and this, I had prepared myself a little bit for this kind of conversation, and like, oh, hope, you mean the abstract concept. But I didn't expect the conversation to happen this early in the season. So, which I think is like it's a positive thing about the team that they thought to ask immediately.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first things that got brought up. But my favorite thing would be, because one of the other things that I came to was, okay, this process is going to be really painful, of trying to remember, and that was on top of the ooze hangover. So
Yes.
that moment of casting the burning hands up and it's turning into tar, I was quite proud of.
Yeah.
Spencer's gonna have the mop out later.
Yeah.
And hopefully illustrative of what is going on.
Yeah. No, it's wonderful. That was a really, another really good bit.
You'll keep fucking joking about the Tar Lord. Guess what?
No, he's becoming more and more real. Yeah. I just rolled a 3, which would be Bron. Favorite John moments. And I'm going to jump in first with that comment at the end. This is the advice you would give if it was any one of us. That was very good.
Yeah, that's a great way to convince Ereq to do shit. If you were giving this advice,
but it's also a very Bron thing to observe. And demonstrative of, they've known each other not that long, but of the bond. Like, Bron and Ereq found a really good bond quite early. Like, these are two I love that these are two people who individually became good friends with Julio. And it kind of speaks to the kind of people who would become friends with Julio. People who, for one reason or another, can keep the fucker grounded. And
I try to.
Try to.
Walking around with Julio like a little Hiscalia balloon, just holding him by a leg.
A little leash.
And it's funny because Bron is also similar to Ereq. He is very intelligent, but in the exact opposite way.
Yes.
Like, completely non-methodical. No.
Yeah.
Chaotic intelligent.
I really liked how you described what would Bron do to unwind, because he'd just be like tinkering and fucking around and doing some like random bullshit that is not like immediately effective or anything like that. And I like that because it's just like the mental like exercise for exercise sake. I like that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And he's also in a place. Oh, sorry.
Dara just illustrated something for me, which just made that other comment click, John, in terms of them being the very different types of intelligence. Bron is ADHD and Ereq is autistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Must be perfect versus let's throw it at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
I liked that it was with a little bit of prodding from Josh, but it was Bron who brought up Riley and how Riley's doing, and that whole sequence with trying to figure out something for her. Rather, like, Julio is off busy being Pope, and so I thought that was really interesting, and also I think says something about their relationship, that Julio goes and starts all this shit and then Bron's the one to actually get it organized. Yeah.
I did love the considering and then immediately dismissing the putting the gun on the deep.
Very Bron thing.
Oh, I can put the gun. No, maybe I don't want to put the gun. I'll just give her a little claw instead.
He's learning. You guys are rubbing off on Bron.
Yeah.
Only on the Hiscalia.
Or he was just like, no, actually, that gun is super useful in its current form, as an elemental extractor, as I recall.
It did actually. There was another point that I didn't get to say in the game, which was that, like, if all of the elementals are souls, what does that make the gun?
The
soul gun.
So, and this is actually, I didn't say it because you guys were in a really good moment, but Ereq is aware. Yeah. So souls become one with the plane. the plane is the elementals. All the elementals are the plane. But if you want to give them a bit of free will and sentience, you put a soul in it. The souls is sort of, it's like atoms in a sea, and then you're like, I'm going to build it out of this, like this cup of water, chuck it in the ocean. But if I want to make a new cup of water, I'll use that specific bunch of atoms. That sort of, is kind of what the elemental is. They are the plane, but they're also kind of distinct from it. Which Ereq knows. Mitch rolled a 3 and got a 2. That's Julio. Have we talked about Bron? Has everybody flattered Bron?
What did John like about
Yeah, I think...
Give us some John on Bron action.
Whoa. My next fan fiction.
Not paying you for that.
Oh my god!
You'll have to do
I'll let
gratis.
John go, and then I'll do my second one.
It's a passion work.
Yeah.
Like the Bible.
A lot of passion there.
Where's
just
Wheatbelt?
saying.
They did some excellent work.
I
in
think
the
my
day.
favorite moment was maybe. Actually, there was a lot of things. It was not getting distracted. Weirdly, Bron was actually on point for a lot of this, and kind of. I mean, apart from I for a specific moment, I think it would be the sitting down with the tree elemental, watching the tennis match of the catch up between Julio and Ereq. I think that's exactly what would happen. And just little touches like that. I think.
We were speaking about fan art. I've put the bits of fan art that we've got up there.
I was gonna say I also liked Bron helping to develop methadone.
Yeah.
I know nothing about how this interacts with the human body, but I will help.
I will test all of it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Alrighty. Julio moments.
I'm going to jump right in there very quickly because it was one of the last things that happened. The call about the Bron hypocrisy. John hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I hope that comes back.
I don't know how though, because you're not aware of it. We're not aware of it. I don't know.
I mentioned that something about we talked about the dreams maybe 2 sessions ago.
He has had a twist in it of late. And it wasn't a permanent damage potentially. I'm going to go to the other end of the episode. And starting a rumor. And I love that your first thought was to start a rumor about you and the dragon being in a relationship. And then you went, no, wait, this is better. Kesh is a dragon too.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of love that you were like, I can't do both. That would be silly.
Yeah, I gotta do one. People won't believe it if there's 2 at the same time. I gotta choose them.
Gotta make it plausible enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is slightly self-serving. Surprise, surprise. But Julio was the first, / Dario was the first to prompt Ereq about intangible ways with the inspiration of helping Ereq to recall hope, and that kind of let the snowball happen with everyone else adding their stuff in. Because A, Brendan didn't know what he was rolling for, and B, I didn't feel like Ereq would be spending like excess amount of effort trying to exert himself to remember this thing. So having Julio lead that effort, I thought was very cool.
Mr. Moans, you bloody champion. How are you, you splendid bean? It's lovely to be back on Thursday nights. We're not normally here on a Thursday. This is the first time in a hot minute. And the Moan Zone is here. I'm really glad to see it as well, because Mike had some issues with his Discord being hacked on the weekend, and that sucked. But it's really good to see you back in the zone, Mr. Moans. Thank you very much for joining us, you bloody champion. Throw your favorite raid emotes. We have some new raid emotes. We have a Tar Raid to go with our Goose Raid. If you are a higher tier subscriber, you can now get both, but I have retired the Goose Raid to the tier 2 subscribers. Shanna, thank you very much for the follow, you bloody champion. Avast, matey! You wee scallywag. We are actually towards the very end of our stream. We are just talking about our favorite moments. We have been playing some D&D in my Humblewood world, and this is our first session back in a hot minute for this particular gang. It has been a week, mate. I feel that.
Maybe there's something in the air, because we've had a fucking
Is it a full
shit week
moon?
too.
I think it is, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, take the load off. Thank you, guys, for joining us. It is a pleasure to have you. Sit, be, join us as we flatter Julio, Switchgear, or Daria for the wonderful work they did this session. And, yeah, pull up a chair. Pull up a stool and enjoy. Yes. Daria was very funny and also very clever. A couple of us are flattered. Others do. Oh, buddy.
Lost track of my process of thought. Bear with me a second.
I love the idea that a processed thought is something you've written down.
Oh, she processed it a long time ago. Yeah.
No, yeah. In the same way that, like, cheese is processed milk.
Yeah.
A note is a processed thought.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think he was actually intending to be mean there.
I retract my middle finger then.
No, leave it there.
I wasn't quite sure how
You'll
excited I
probably
should
need
be.
it soon.
Yeah, you'll need it pretty soon. Don't worry. It's bread enough.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Hi, Jesus.
I loved Julio's chat with the dragon about the older heart.
Yeah.
That was cool. Like Julio being
I
like,
didn't want to do too much lore demanding because I know that we had more pressing things to do, but I'm looking forward to when we meet like Dragon and Hath at the same time.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna be a mindfuck of a lore drop, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking forward to seeing what Hath has to say for themselves.
I'm setting up.
Yeah.
I'm setting up the next arc before we've even.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Scoundrel.
Spoilers. It might be about Dragon. Spoilers. The Hit Point Press released a new book recently called "The Field Guide to Floral Dragons."
Yes.
That may or may not be relevant.
I don't think it's going to be relevant, guys.
Nah, red herring.
I'm sure it's not gonna be
Mycelium dragons, no less. Actually, come to think.
Ooh, fancy. Favorite self? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed bringing up Hope because I was like, since last season, I was waiting for like an opportune situation where it would make sense to bring up, and with the fact that there are new elementals now being brought into the world, something that has never existed before, it was a plausible enough bridge between the elemental that Ereq has and this. So I was like, yes, finally we can talk about this shit. And of course, Brennan being an obstinate bitch about it, and being, yes, we all like Hope.
I couldn't remember how that conversation started, but that makes sense.
Yeah. Glorious. Alrighty. Well, can we get a D2 in chat, please? Choose between me and Karen.
I don't know, can we?
I don't know, maybe.
Can we?
Hope so. Exclamation mark, roll space, the number 2. We'll choose between me flattering the Dungeon Master, which we never like to do, and Josh doesn't hate. Josh doesn't like. Or Karen, who deserves some flattering, particularly for the borderline flirtatious behavior that she was giving today.
Borderline.
Roll the number 2.
Nice.
Rock's full, Ereq dies.
I also enjoyed Julio's momentarily flailing up. Wait, which eyes do I have?
Yeah.
That was good.
Do I have two normal eyes? Do I have my seeing dead eye?
So
The
many
dice have
different
spoken.
magical eyes. Yeah.
It looks like it's gonna be me. Flatter the DM.
You get to be complimented.
No, so sad.
I would like to enter as the first favorite moment. Slide into a viscous embrace, which is gonna stay with me for a while.
They tend to.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
viscous embraces don't go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I would like to point out the excessively flirtatious and horny captain that as soon as the NPC started talking, immediately, oh, are they flirting? Because it seems like they're flirting. And then subsequently, every line they ever said, I was like, is this an innuendo? It has to be an innuendo because there was like just so much of it, which I think is great because it shows the range that you have as a DM for characters that are kind of like Ereq's grandma, that are very very no
When
joy,
Eric's grandma
no fun
started flirting
allowed.
with Ereq, that was when I was like, okay, this is a
Yeah.
real DM.
Yeah, we gotta step up
Calm
our game
down.
here.
It's getting weird.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed the light-hearted captain who I do not trust for a fucking second, by the way.
No, you should not. This is Terrace's character. No. His first name is Ned.
Yeah.
Not
Definitely
Edward.
don't.
Ned.
No one I can trust is called
The
Ned.
CEO of sex.
Yep.
One corner of the internet knows. John's
I
corner
don't.
of the internet knows. Yeah. Ned Leeds from Spider-Man. He's the CEO of sex. I guess because some people on the internet just decided that he is.
Oh, okay.
So then, yeah.
Is
Anyway,
the people you?
Yeah. Who are these people?
Yeah, these people are they?
I
Why
want
what
all their names and
authority?
addresses.
Do they have the
They
right
bought
to
a
declare
cat?
the CEO of sex?
Just Google the CEO of sex and probably nothing.
I
bad
will
come up.
not.
Safe
try.
search.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that'll help.
My
Yeah.
favorite DM moment was the intro. Was that
Yes.
that dream, that communication, which really set Ereq's journey, his new goal for this season at least. And I'll peek behind the curtain a little bit. I was thinking, and I spoke to Josh about this yesterday, I was considering doing a level in Warlock or Cleric or something, and Josh suggested that the Elder Heart might be a good patron. And I really like that idea. I decided against it ultimately, but I could see like that would have gone hand in hand with this. But now because Ereq isn't bound by some kind of pact, then yeah, it definitely inspired Ereq. I don't know if it had inspired him in the way that the Elder Heart intended it to.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Suspicious.
And so shout out to Josh for the vividness of what you described, and I think knowing that, you know, depending on your perspective, like if Julio had have been the recipient of that dream, then I think Julio would have only been, yeah, this is amazing. This is a vision of utopia.
Oh yeah, me and Older Heart are like this. We're pals for life, my man.
Yeah.
I have a tattoo on my arm saying Older Heart and a little heart.
It was a tough choice who to send that to.
Well,
I think it makes very much sense for it to be Ereq, because essentially the only obstacle for Older Heart's ascension and
Is
for
Ereq.
Julio's like work on it is Ereq. So Older Heart saying you the one that like has the most influence on this is extremely correct, because Julio's already fully on board.
Yeah.
But if Ereq was to put his not insignificant brains and power against it, we'd be in a world of trouble. We'd be like a Civil War Marvel style, you know. That'd be rough.
Yeah.
Because I agree with this. I agree. This felt right.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in. My favorite DM moment was the fact that the tornado was singing with voices. Like, that was so cool. It was already a cool visual, and then it was singing as well. And I was like,
That was creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, it turned something that was like, oh, that's kind of interesting into, well, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, this theme that you've created, and I don't know if you intended it when you first started it, but following on this theme of the opera singers being under the thrall of the wind plane, which is what I assume that you're continuing this thread with. I thought
a little bit,
very cool.
Yeah. And the corruptive influence of
my question would be like, what elements do the others have as their like genres of music? if wind is opera, then like rock is obviously rock.
Rock, yeah.
I really want to say it's not though. I think that's water. I think rock is metal.
Rock isn't a metal.
But metal is a rock.
Which one is K-pop?
Oh, that's Void.
Yeah, no, that's Void. John has passion in that one as well because John's partner is massively into K-pop.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. She's been going to K-pop dance classes for a long time.
Fire is like Gregorian chant. Says Mitch.
Nice.
Death is country because it makes you want to kill yourself.
That's it. Yeah, no, I was wondering which one would be country. Yeah.
I would say that life would be jazz because it's unpredictable, it's improvising.
Yeah. All right, interesting. Yeah.
There's a whole larger
When
conversation.
you mix fire and life, you get hot jazz.
Hot jazz.
All over your face.
His favorite self was that comment.
My favorite. It was not. Most immediately regretted that one. Death would be Aussie hip hop too, maybe. Yeah. See, Hilltop Hoods are fucking brilliant though. You can get some real misses, but there are some absolute hits in there. It's as a genre, it's very mix and match. I liked being obliged to make up a whole bunch more dragon shit up. I liked. No, it was Borain. Had to be Borain. And bringing in
That was neat.
The elementals for the first time because it's the first time the older artist had the material to make one. One step closer.
It really is a full confirmation of elementals being like somehow the energy of the souls that belong to that plane, which is interesting. I wonder, do Ereq's peeps know that? The fucking tenders, do they know about that?
It is established law. I don't know if not all of them know. Ereq is probably the world expert in elemental. Like he spent time becoming it, but he did that studying the books of the tenders. Like, he did it with tender law.
Up until recently, like very recently, like the last 3 to 6 months, the tenders have basically been a glorified fire control fire agency, right?
Yeah.
Like Ereq is really, to my knowledge, has led this idea of we need to understand them on a planar level, and we need to understand all the planes because they're here.
They were focused very much on putting out the fires rather than putting out the individual fires. Than they've had a breather because the fires got so big. Everyone had to help. And and that's why you're not seeing as much fire bullshit as you are everything else bullshit, because the fires blew their load too early. Erupted. Yeah.
Speaking of hot jazz.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it spewed its hot jazz all over the place.
If there's a burning
and never
sensation,
more
you need to consult with your tender.
Tender.
I hardly knew it.
It would be pretty tender. All right, let's talk about Karen.
I mean, the
Roasty hot chicken
entire
tenders.
conversation with the captain was so fun because Kesh was painful reminders of how single and how deep in work she has been. That's been great. So she's like on that. I really don't have time, but also, oh my fucking god, I'm so single. It's very funny.
He'd do,
I enjoyed it.
but no.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, could I sleep with him? Yes. Would it solve anything? No, not really.
What I liked was like towards the end of that conversation of having that realization of, yes, I could do like basically what you were saying, but really logicking out, well, no, particularly you've just brought this elemental crisis to me. I now have been doing this for such a long time that I cannot physically remove myself from crisis management.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, you know, to the point where numerous other characters and NPCs are like, hey, Kesh, you need to take a break, bruv. And she's like, I literally cannot. How do I do that?
It's like, things keep exploding.
And in fact, probably the only reason she was able to have 3 days off is because Ereq was in a coma.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have been right there with her. Like, yeah, we need to fix things.
He's like, so 2 of your friends have levels of exhaustion. You need to stop. Because you're about to cop one.
She's like, never.
General Saradin would have put her foot down.
Never
basically.
surrender.
I think... Oh, sorry, you go.
No, I didn't have anything.
I was going to say my favorite Kesh moment was how you greeted Ereq. Because when Ereq came out of the goo, both Daria and I were like, just concerned about the figure in front of her. Nobody asked Ereq, do you want a snack? Are you okay? How do you feel? And I loved that. And I loved that somebody said it. So yeah, I thought that was great. And it set the whole tone for what happened next, right? Like, we wouldn't have had that conversation. We wouldn't have checked in about Hope if you hadn't greeted him like that.
Yeah.
And it really solidified the fact that Kesh and Ereq are friends, rather than just co-workers.
And like very old friends. Like it's clear that they have a relationship spanning much longer than Julio and Bron know them.
We've been through some shit.
Yeah. It's been a rough year. It's been about 8 months, but it's been a hell of an 8-month period. Hey Tony,
like
happy Midsummer's Eve, mate.
It was like 3.5 years.
Maybe more. Yeah. It's more. It's 4 and a bit. Because we've lived in this house for 3.5 years, and it's been going since before we moved here. It's the last place. My favorite Kesh is, I think it's actually, those of you who know us in the meat space know that I actually really do enjoy flirting with my wife. And
crazy.
We are, but
no concept.
But I know, but also like, we are very playful with each other in the meat space. We are there is a lot of banter and teasing and mocking, but like it was once said very proudly that we'd never had a fight, and we said this in front of a group of theater kids that Brendan was also in, and Talia, lovely Talia, who I think was about 17 at the time, said, yes you have, you fight all the time. And I was like, no, that's bickering. But we bicker constantly. We're always play fighting. But we've had exactly one fight in our entire relationship, which is over 16 years now. And that was concerning her mother and the wedding.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is a reasonable reason to have you're both being unreasonable right now, but that's why, and we understand. Karen and I don't fight, we bicker constantly, however.
It's funny that you bring up the wedding, actually, because I think all 5 of us were there, right?
No,
it's a wedding joke because.
I see. Oh, right, I see.
Brendan is so funny. It's just so funny.
No, that is funny. That's funny as fuck.
That is funny.
Funny.
You know,
when you beat a dead horse so long it becomes a lich and just undead zombie horse running around, that's what you've created, Brendan.
You see, that's your opinion.
Parodied.
My opinion is that when you keep beating the dead horse, it comes back to life again, and then you can keep beating it.
Playful is a euphemism for kinky, right? It's not a euphemism. Tony,
I'm not allowed to make jokes in the bedroom. I've been banned.
No.
Apparently, it's not.
I
sexy.
find it exceptionally distracting.
That does remind me of a time where I was making out with a girlfriend to an Izzard in the background, and we would just stop it and erupt into laughter.
After laughter, yeah.
It was like,
no,
it wasn't it.
The real mood killer being exceptionally amused by the woman you're trying to have sex with. Alrighty, Karen, favorite self? We should probably leave.
Yeah, after that. Okay. I enjoy the little relationship that's been developed with Spencer.
Yeah.
It's just kind of happened. We have this whole shtick now with Spencer, which is lots of fun.
That reminds me, one of my great moments was meeting Bob.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, Bob! Bob's great!
Bob and Spencer, both
I love
grown...
that we got the payoff for the methadone and Ereq wasn't there. I was like, oh yeah, that one happened like earlier this afternoon. I was like, oh yeah, no, I should include that. Like I'd forgotten about it. But I went back in my notes to find the name of the wizard at the opera house because it was wrong. And it's a retcon that I need to make. I said in the game that it was Ramus Greyshield, but that's not, because that's actually Selenox's brother's name. And I've written it down on the same page as a bunch of other NPC names, and I'd gotten them muddled. So here's... it is actually Lewis Doggett. Which is the only other extant name that I have to include that would fit. It's that or Snivel the Kobold. So I haven't had room for Snivel the Kobold yet. Are we good? Are we done? Are we happy with the Karen moments? And if not, we should go away from here.
Karen,
favorite self?
Karen moment?
No, you said the Diaz Spencer moment.
Yeah, my brain had kind of just also noted the amusement of like the episode opening with Julio being like, I'm going to start a rumor that, I'm sleeping with the dragon. No, wait, I'm going to start a rumor that Kesh
is sleeping with the dragon. No, wait.
And then Kesh is just like, I'm so single. I don't want a dragon.
I reckon if you were a dragon, you might be more single because there's only 2 others and...
That would make it hard.
Dragonborn are a thing, half dragon. Like, think of all the edgelord characters that everyone makes. Dragons fuck. They don't need another dragon around.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I would be in line for, hey, is this dragon single?
Half dragon,
so,
half Julio.
What dragons in your area?
That's the definition of DILF I'm here for. Dragon.
Dragon I'd like. I mean, I have yet to meet a dragon that I didn't want to fuck. Guys, we should go away from here now because we've been streaming for a gosh darn while. Hey, Brendan, who the heck are you?
I'm Brendan. You caught me just as I was trying to eat a strip of gay bacon, so I'm going to keep doing that now.
Happy Pride Month, everyone.
Happy Pride Month. I'm eating
gay
your
bacon.
pigs.
Right.
So gay bacon is.
Please do explain.
Stopped to describe.
Yeah, because Josh is looking at me like, "What the fuck?"
I was like,
"Is that sour straps?"
Like, so... I was like, I assumed like fruit leather, but no. All right.
See,
I mean,
more or less. The thing is, I would
like
trust you guys if you said that in Australia on Pride Month they have colored bacon strips to make it like a rainbow. I would trust that. And you lost that opportunity.
Oh, that would
it's not
be
an
so
Australia
cool.
thing. We're not that down with the gays. We're not bad with the gays, but we're not that
we do
down
have
with
Pride
the gays.
Month. But
We are very up
we're
there
not-
with telling ridiculous stories, though.
We're not
you know.
striping
How
We
on
wouldn't do
Australia
it, but we
Day,
would lie
we
to
do
others
go
about
around
doing it.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
we do go
yeah.
around hunting hoop snakes.
Yes. Well, that's so
See, you lost
fast.
the opportunity.
Anyway, gay bacon.
Yeah.
Gay bacon.
Gay bacon. And a gay bacon to you as well. Karen, who the heck are you?
Oh,
Gay
no.
bacon is
Do you
my
want John?
NPC.
Do we want John?
Redeem
Hello.
that gay bacon.
Hello, I'm Karen. I'm a performer, a writer, an internet addict. I'm trying to semi-regularly play video games on Tuesday nights for your entertainment and enjoyment. We've been playing Discworld 2 Mortality Bites intermittently. Sometimes it's loads of fun. Sometimes I'm so pissed off because I have no idea what I'm doing. And Rincewind just keeps telling me that what I want to do won't work. And it's an Ereq Idol's voice. So it just, I'm just so mad. But at the same time, it's Ereq Idol and I can't be mad at Ereq Idol. Anyway, it's a cool time.
Damn it. Is the wizard have to be called Gabe Aiken? Because Brendan named a character and I was typing in frantically, is it Gabe Aiken? And of course it fucking was. So Gabe will be a character soon.
Gabe
Brandon,
Aiken, in honor of Pride Month, NPC Gabe Aiken.
Australia may not do it, but Corsair's Cove certainly does. Gabe Aiken is a thing.
Hell yeah.
Hey John,
You
who the
can't
heck are
say
you?
no to it, otherwise that'd be sexist.
It would be very homophobic.
And racist.
Yeah.
So racist of you to not include gay bacon.
I'm not.
Hi, I'm John. I've never had gay bacon
Hi, John.
or slept with a dragon.
Wow, that's very
Yeah.
sexist
Okay, you're
and
young.
racist of you.
I'm
As long
not
as it's on the bucket
anymore.
list.
Young. Sure. Can be. Yeah, look,
Bucket of,
that's it.
Fair.
Bucket of Dragons.
Uh-huh.
bucket of dragon. Not normally
That's my band
the
name.
collective name for a group of dragons. Bucket.
Bucket of dragons. But do you have a
collective
bucket of
name
gay
is-
dragons?
Yeah,
No, it's the
To
collective name is
kick
fuck
and
it.
do a
Bucket of
campaign of
dragons.
dildos
Fuck
and
it.
dragons, and we just fuck dragons. That's the goal.
I came here to fuck dragons and eat gay bacon, and I'm all out of gay bacon. Daria,
This is really...
Daria, please. Who the heck are
Yes,
you?
I'm also here waiting for my gay dragon bacon, and I am an artist. I do art such as portraits and emotes, and if you want some, you can get it from me for money. I can even draw you gay dragons eating bacon if you'd like.
Yep,
You know how
Would
they would
like
do it?
that.
They would each start at a different end of the bacon.
obviously.
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
they have
And then
yeah,
one eats
they have
the
the lady
other.
and the tramp this shit. Yeah, and they turn into a hoop snake.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
And I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, of course, as Cove, wrangling these lovely muffins. On Thursday evenings for the next little while, at least. We will be back every Thursday, 7 p.m.
Aren't you
AWST.
happy that we're back?
I am. My face hasn't hurt this much from laughing for like days. I rewatched the last episode, and Daria made me snort laugh, and use the phrase, "I haven't laughed like that since I was a little girl." Thank you. Where it was, yeah, they are when I get done with them. I'm so sorry. He's dead. I'm really sorry.
The dead dragon nephew.
The dead dragon nephew that you kind of killed with a bug up the ass.
Just a bug?
Yeah. And there was nothing else. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you this evening. We need to go and find somebody to raid. We are going to go and drop a raid on the lovely Agent Number 1. He is playing War Torn. Don't know what that is. Early access, though. Agent is a splendid Canadian streamer who I used to play D&D with back in the fucking day. So, guys, chuck your favorite raid emote up in chat, including our new one that Daria did, the lovely Tar raid, which became oddly prophetic.
I love it. It's such a good. It's definitely my favorite emote. I'm really excited about it.
I wonder fucking why, you self-centered bitch.
Okay. So yeah, throw that favorite raid
I wanna
emote.
commission-
Insulting each other.
I want
Yeah,
to
no,
commission
it's
that. as an emote. You self-fucking bitch.
All right. Throw your favorite red emotes up in chat. Tell Agent where you came from. Show them love like we always do, and we will see you same bad time, same bad channel. Maybe Monday, Karen, for a little bit more roll table for 2. 6 p.m. AWS tape. Yeah, that. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Whee!